How we doing, boys and girls? Good morning, good morning. Welcome to you all. Shout out Coffee Club. Mad respect to you. Appreciate your support each and every day. Thank you, thank you. Catherine, get that coffee on the go. We got some restocking to do today. Now, how do we make restocking interesting? We talk about gold whilst we do it. Yes. Oh my god. I appreciate that restocking is not necessarily the most interesting thing. And I'm going to start off by saying we're going to try our best to make it interesting today. We've got to get ready for the weekend. Saturday, I hope to be a big day. I hope it to be a big day. Legendaries are an interesting game right now. A really interesting game. Now, I've obviously not got the experience to quote on how it's working on the really big servers out there. But on the medium pop realms, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Legendaries are doing some interesting things. Restocking is super interesting if it's restocking legendaries. Well, I understand why you would say that. Yes, legendaries are doing some interesting things. I promised myself I wouldn't get deep into legendaries again. I promised myself, and I promised you guys I wouldn't get deep into legendaries again, because as soon as I start playing with legendaries, it takes over my entire schedule, which is dangerous. But there is so much gold to be made in it right now. Oh my god! There's a combination of things happening. There's the material prices appear to have bottomed out. Secondly, and hang on, let me clarify why materials bottoming out is a good thing. When the materials bottom out, it means that you have a somewhat consistent price for your materials, meaning that you don't feel the urgency or the rush to have to sell everything super, super fast, because you know the material prices are going to be roughly the same if you sell that item today or if you sell that item tomorrow. Only found your channel on Wednesday and already loving it. You're a really fun guy. Thank you. Helping me a lot with my first bit of gold. Hit 150 gold yesterday. That's a really good start. Really, really, really good start. You the one that posted on Reddit, maybe? Maybe, possibly. Somebody said that they had 150k gold on Reddit. Maybe. I don't know. A lot of people find me from Reddit. I'm always lurking on the subreddit. I'll occasionally respond to the odd thing. Either way, material prices bottoming out is really, really beneficial for legendaries. Secondly, on top of that, the people that appear to be buying legendaries now seem to have no problem with spending big bucks on their rank 4s, which leads me to believe that the people that are still buying legendaries now are either people who are getting their first legendary still, just new players to the game that know no different, or they're people that got their legendary the first time round when Shadowlands was brand new and probably spent 100k on their rank 4 legendary in the first place and just assume that that is the price for them. Simply meaning that I've been selling leatherworking gear for 300% profit. Rank 4s, 300% profit. Which is mental. Just for example, Bone Shatter Arm Guards. We sold one already this morning. Rank 4. Rank 4 Bone Shatter Arm Guards. Now, admittedly, it's an off-meta piece, and so there's probably not many people who are able to craft them, but crafting cost on these bad boys, 23,000 gold. Sold it for 60. 300% profit. Oh my days. Looked at my gold income and how much of it was from Legos. There's just no reason for me to look at anything else but legendaries right now. I totally agree. I totally agree. There is absolutely no reason for me to invest any effort into anything else but legendaries at the moment. I'm still in this last few days. Now, I know I didn't stream or do videos or do anything yesterday. We'll talk about that later. But this week, Wednesday, we did over 2 million in sales. Yesterday, I did about 1.5 million in sales. And for reference, this is all at massive markup. Crazy. Crazy. Can't wait to start making new legendaries. Be careful though. I don't want to... while I'm making a lot of gold, the reason I'm making gold is because I have every single legendary unlocked in the game. Apart from 3. I have rank 4 in everything apart from 3 pieces of bone shatter gear where I only have it at rank 3. Only have it at rank 3. That's the reason I can make a lot of gold, because I've spent all of the gold leveling them up already. I craft them, I sell them, and I only sell them at a profit, and I only recraft the ones that I sell. It took me easily 50 million gold to get to this point in turnover. So it's a slow start. It's a slow start, but as I predicted in the beta, Shadowlands is just going to be a really nice, constant, passive 100, 200, 300k a day gold maker for the foreseeable future, the way that it appears right now. But yeah, it took big bucks to get there in the first place. I highly would not recommend anybody even attempt to get into legendaries, especially leatherworking, until you've got at least 1 million gold. At least. You probably want 3 or 4 million gold before you start looking at leatherworking. But yes, just bonkers crazy things are happening. My only concern is supply of materials. I bought a whole... We can see on this fella. I bought a whole bunch of... Let's keep going on this. Bought a whole bunch of callous hide earlier. Turned most of it into heavy callous hide. I'm now switching, balancing my stock so I have an equal number of enchanted and regular to do a restock. And even this isn't gonna supply my restock. Not at all. I started with 100k on a new realm, but I guess I knew what I was doing. Well, not only did you know what you were doing, you did it at a time where there was massive demand for it. So it was more sensible to do, or more feasible to do, should I say. The frustration for me is from a content creator point of view. Me just spending all day, every day crafting and selling legendaries and then telling people that it's going to cost them 20 million to get into the legendary market isn't constructive, nor is it helpful to anybody. If anything, I worry that it does more damage than it does good. The entire reason I started making YouTube content and live streaming and gold making videos and all this sort of stuff again was to make, gold making fun. And if I'm not making it fun, then I'm failing at my primary objective. But I'm hoping at least that I can, guide a few people in the right direction. But I really, really, really want to emphasize, you will burn through gold crafting rank 1s and rank 2s. You will be lucky if you can craft rank 1s and rank 2s and make back the gold that you spend on them. Lucky. I started on that realm after the early demand. Everybody had their rank 4s already when you started. I thought you started right back at the beginning. Or did you switch servers? I don't know, maybe. I can't keep track with what I'm doing, never mind what everybody else is doing. But so, first and foremost this morning, we're going to craft up some legendaries and probably buy some materials. Secondly, I want to get some blacksmithing plans on this fella and do a bit of past expansion crafting. I guess I'll stick with 87s and 168 gear for some time then. Honestly, you can still make a fair chunk of change out of those. If you're the difficulty is obviously in the restock. If you're trying to sell 87s and 168s, there's no real easy way of keeping track how many of each item you've got. So you kind of just have to go with a real sort of real heavy approach with it. You have to be crafting like maybe 5 to 10 of each one, just so you've got loads of stock. Like, it's cheap to make, or relatively cheap to make, should I say. So crafting like 10 of each one and just keeping them on a bank character and just relisting like 1 or 2 at a time. And just relisting from your inventory when they sell. Would you recommend going all in on a couple of slots from 0 to rank 4s at this point? No. No, that's probably the worst idea, because you're then going to end up with 45 rank 1, 2 and 3 legendaries, and you're going to feel the need to try and sell them as fast as possible. And spoiler alert, they're not going to sell as quick as you expect them to. I would go, if you want to get in on legendaries, it's still feasible, there's still gold to be made in legendaries. I would craft one, sell it. When you sell it, craft another one, and work your way up the ranks that way. It's going to mean that you spend a few days like fighting to sell like rank 1s to get that rank 2. Maybe when you get like, if you can get to like 80% of the way to the next level, then craft a few spare, but really do not craft 15 in one go, because crafting 15 in one go means that you have no experience selling that exact item. It's very dangerous. Not to mention, not only is it very dangerous, it's also very expensive to do it that way. Partly because I had all rank 4s on my main realm already, which meant I couldn't test a bunch of things you developed for LST. Ah, I see. Okay, now I understand. That makes more sense. Yeah, I guess Legendary Stock Tracker is difficult to develop, I guess, if you've already kind of maxed everything out. So we're almost done with these. We can then send them over. Now, less than 500 of each is not ideal. Not ideal. To give you guys a reference point to just how much it costs to, maintain leatherworking, each enchanted heavy callous hide is about 1200 gold on my realm, and I've got 500 of them here, along with another 500 heavy callous hide, and this is a small restock. I restocked with almost triple this amount a few days ago. This won't even cover, I think, half of my restock either. I'm going to have to be cautious to which ones I craft out of with using these materials. And this is probably, I don't know, 1 million gold or something right here. Because I don't buy heavy callous hide like they're 500 gold a piece, right? So a single, okay, so a stack of heavy callous hide is what, 100k? Is that right? 500 gold a piece times 200, 100k. Yeah, 100k a stack. So 100k a stack. Each stack of enchanted heavy callous hide is 200k. So 2, 4, 5, 6 and a bit. So maybe 700,000 gold just here. This is why I don't recommend getting into the legendary market if you've only got like 300k. Because this is 700,000 gold right here. And this isn't even a fraction of what I need. That's the scary thing. Balance these out a little bit more. That'll do. So we got 455 of each now. Let's see what we can do in terms of crafting with those. I'm going to need to go buy some more arboreal shards, I feel, again. Boy, have I spent a lot of gold on arboreal shards. Holy, holy, holy. Would you recommend making, say, 5 rank 1s at a time and then sending to the bank alt, so at least you've got stock flowing whilst you grind new mats again? I mean, for rank 1s, that's not too bad of an idea, because then you would only have to do like 3 recrafts to be able to unlock rank 2. But yeah, like at least 5 rank 1s are not that expensive. Crafting 4 rank 1s, for example, is the same price as crafting 1 rank 4, so... Hello? Yeah, I mean, a few rank 1s at a time is not the worst thing you can do. But like I said, my main emphasis with legendaries is just don't, for the love of God, don't craft 15 and try and sell them all at once. You'll have a bad time if you do that. Because honestly, the reason the legendary market right now is somewhat profitable again is because at the higher ranks there's not many people selling them, which means the market over a period of a week has time to sort of reset itself. What's occurring? No, I don't want dogs in there. Nipsu doesn't want to be in there. Papa would, but Nipsu doesn't. I guess I know what I'm doing today then. Yeah, just take it slow. Getting into the legendary market, unfortunately, it's very expensive to do, so you just have to take it slow. But you also want to give yourself like some experience with it. So if you try and dive straight in with absolutely no experience in the market, you'll be, because it's a totally different game. Like crafting the items, great. Affording to be able to craft the items, great. Then you have you stumble across the difficulty of selling the items, and that's what people don't realise. That selling legendary, say hi to the puppy. The dogs, sometimes the dogs sleep in here, or at least one of our dogs sleeps in here regularly. But rip doggo. No, it gets pretty hot in here during the day, and we have what are known as Finnish Lapland dogs, which are super fluffy, and they tend like they lie downstairs on the kitchen floor because it's tiles and it's cold, because you know they get too hot. So being in here with these lights, my computer, you know, all this stuff is not sensible for them really. Right, so let's see. What am I missing? Oh, I'm running relatively low on heavy desolate leather as well. I've only got 1,000 heavy desolate leather right now. We've got plenty of we've not even got plenty of desolate leather. We've got some desolate leather. I forget you don't like hot dogs in the EU. I vote for dog cam. Well, I mean, I do somewhat sort of have a dog cam, but it's not all set up and plugged in, and equally there's no dog here right now. Maybe we'll get a dog cam on the go at some point in the future. First of all, they're Finnish, of course they stay out of the warmth, yeah. Well, it's like this country is never ever getting out of winter. It seems to be permanently winter nowadays. It's still there's a real feel of -16 outside, and we're in the middle of March. So it's pretty cold outside. but that obviously means that we keep the house nice and warm. The entertainment value would be there. My dogs are not necessarily that interesting. I mean, they're cute to look at, sure, but they tend to just lie in the bed. If they're both here, then they'll be like fighting and playing with tennis balls and stuff, which might be more interesting to watch, but we'll see. Oh my god, I've got no arboreal shards either. Right, we're heading over to Bastion. We need arboreal shards. Right, so I'm going to need to buy more materials. Oh, I'm going to have to dive into the guild bank for funds. Let's just take a mill out of the guild bank. Is that 1 million gold? That's not enough zeros, surely. There we go. Let's see if we can... Callous hide is not exactly what I would say perfectly priced right now, but if there's enough of it, oh my god, there's really not a lot of it. This fella has 1.8 million gold worth of heavy callous hide on the auction house. Lucky him. This is frustrating. This is going to mean that I'm going to have to... I was hoping by Friday the price of this would have come back down to something, you know, sensible. I really don't want to be standing around turning all of this callous hide into heavy callous hide all day. Landlord doesn't allow cats or dogs. I'd watch a boring doggo all day. Oh, I suppose I forget that there are some limitations for some people on pets, yeah. What do we? My average buy price on heavy callous hide currently is 522 gold, which is crazy because it was down to like 350, 400 gold a couple of weeks ago. But of course, you know, demand for legendaries has pushed the price up somewhat. Maybe we buy some of it, but not all of it. How much is that? What's 600? 300k. Keeps the average buy price. I mean, it's going to push the average buy price up a little bit, but I don't think there's any way around that. I need to remember that some of the items that I'm selling, I'm getting like stupid profit margin on it. So I'm theoretically losing a lot by not having the items listed in the first place. So paying slightly over the odds for some of the materials is not the worst thing at the moment. Super luxurious place to be, but what happens if I go all the way this far? What's the average price go to? The average price only goes to... The average price goes up to 556. It's 500,000 gold, nearly 1,000 of them, which in turn actually only equates to about 300 of each. Yoink! That was the quickest 500,000 gold I think I've ever spent. That's also completely sucked the market dry of heavy callous hide. Do we do the same thing with callous hide? You know, just buy all of it. Because I'd rather have more than not enough. Where does the market get really pricey? Here. Yep. If you can do it properly. That was the fastest 800,000 gold I think I've ever spent. Well, it's not actually. I've spent way more, way faster, but we won't talk about that. In past expansions, were there new rare leathers or cloth introduced? Would you guess heavy callous hide stays as the most expensive part of the Legos? It's all totally subjective at this point. We really don't know. We really don't know. Yes. I mean, obviously, even going back one expansion into BFA, we had obviously Xenanthid, for example, in Najatar when that came out in, I want to say, 8.2, which was a new herb. We had, yeah, they. I can't think of an expansion in the past where they haven't added new materials, at least some way through it. But for reference, I still feel that patch 9.1 is a good few months away. So, short term, heavy callus hide is still, you know, the go-to material for leatherworkers. And I'm not buying in quantities higher than I know I can use relatively quickly, so. Oh boy, that's a fair size of materials actually. Now, my intention today was not to actually spend all day plugging away crafting goddamn materials, but it may be a necessary evil. I really despise having to buy callus hide. I wish people who farm callus hide, you know, would do me the favour of turning it into heavy callus hide first. Didn't you say you needed the other heavy leather? Oh yeah, but that really does, I mean, I don't even think about the cost of that. Desolate. Desolate leather's 1 gold 50 a piece. 2 gold 50 when you actually have to buy it. How much do I have? I've got 4,000 still. Oh no, I don't have 4,000 though, do I? Because it's in a bank. Yeah, whatever. We'll buy, I don't know, 10k. And we could also do with some heavy desolate leather as well, probably. Oh, there's not a lot of that. I guess we'll just buy everything. How many is that? How many is that? That's a lot. Yoink. That'll do. There's our leather bought then. All support from Spain. Happy day in gold making. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, desolate leather and heavy desolate leather's not a concern in the slightest. It's the heavy callus hide that's the big one. This averages 500 gold a piece, so, and I go through it like by the 1,000. So yeah, we've just gone and spent the best part of 900k gold. Woo! I hope we have a good day tomorrow. I'm gonna need I think I'm gonna need more bank space, I think. Oh, and I haven't even bought a boil shards yet either. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right. I've got 1,000,000 gold on this character though, that's fine. That'll pay for our boil shard. Do composite crossbows sell? Composite crossbow is primarily used for the vendor shuffle, I believe. Now, the likelihood of you selling many at all to people, to hunters that want to buy a crossbow, is relatively slim. Still haven't set up TSM mailing operations? No, I haven't. But that's mainly because sometimes I want to send heavy callus hide to my hunter, sometimes I want to send it to my paladin, so yeah. Just using postal and shift clicking on the item's fine. For me at least anyway. Question time. How many boil shards are we going to buy? We should probably buy a few thousand of them. We'll buy 3,000 boil shards. That will probably do us for a restock and for tomorrow. Is that 3? That doesn't feel like 3,000. Maybe it is. Maybe we'll buy some more. Sorry, I'm a bad influence. Don't worry about it, it's fine. Shuffle the bow, not the crossbow. Oh, because the crossbow needs the twilight bark, doesn't it? Which is somewhat limited supply. I say somewhat limited supply because you can firstly buy it from a vendor. Secondly, you can it is mineable, so there is technically, like, you know, plenty of it, but do we want to continue okay. Where's my callous hide? Move all that to bags. Move all that to bags. It's going to take half an hour to shuffle all of this into heavy callous hide, isn't it? God damn. Oh, because they upped the price of the thread. Oh, of course. $542 heavy callous hides. That's a good 25 minutes of crafting. Oh, Jesus. Heavy callous hide, craft all, queue all. 18 minutes of crafting. All right. We need to find 20 minutes worth of stuff to do. Whilst this turns into heavy callous hide. Okay then. 20 minutes without spending all my gold. This could be fun, couldn't it? Oh, we've had a whole bunch of stuff expire for some reason. Oh, by the way, they announced Season 2 end date for D3, March 28th. An entire month later than I expected. Is your bank alt level 60 yet? No, that'll kill an hour, won't it? Yeah, maybe we'll just go. We'll bash out a few levels on our bank character. Whoa, hang on. What is all of this? Oh, you see, I am still listing and selling 68 and 168 and you know, crafter's mark gear as well. Okay then. So March 28th. If the season ends March 28th, there's usually a week, possibly even 2 weeks, between the end of one season and the start of another. So we're looking at mid-April for season 23 launch, I'd imagine. Which is annoying because that is exactly when I'm not here. Yeah, I guess I haven't even told you guys, have I? There's going to be a week, or maybe even 10 days in April, where there'll be no streams, nor will there probably be many YouTube videos. I might do my best to get a few scheduled, but there'll be nothing like topically news related, as we are going skiing for a week, which will mean that I am away for at least a week, maybe even 10 days. But that's in April, so I think it's usually 2 weeks or so, but we'll get an announcement soon. Yeah, it's usually about 2 weeks if I remember right. It's usually about 2 weeks. Now, a lot of you will see that a lot of the stuff that I'm listing, it's claiming to be below the minimum price, and so hence it's posting at normal. This is entirely deliberate. This is basically my way of, firstly, making sure I only sell things for a profit, but secondly, it does good work to preserve the market price of the legendaries. If you, for example, if you have it selected so that when it's below your minimum price, you list it at minimum price, you're just stuffing the lower end of the market with more legendaries than there needs to be, making it very, very difficult for the market to naturally reset in price, and making it especially difficult for any goblin that wants to come in and forcibly reset the price of a certain item. So I choose to, if it goes too cheap, I choose to post it at my normal price, which is about 200% of the market price or something. I can't remember exactly what I've got it set to, but it does mean anything that's being listed below crafting cost, or at least below my minimum price. My minimum price isn't actually crafting cost. It's about 15% above crafting cost. But it means if I'm I'm not at a point where I need to just quickly turn over items. I'm just looking to have them listed, and I'm looking to sell them only when they're profitable. So don't be alarmed if you see the fact that I'm posting a lot of my legendaries at normal. It's expected. But if you're frequent with your auction house activities, the second something goes within your price range, TSM will cancel that one to then list it, so it's fine. And I only do 12-hour listings on my legendaries anyway. So worst case scenarios, it's like half a day and it's back in my bags for me to have another chance listing it. So there seems to be an awful lot here that's not being listed on the auction house. Oh, because I didn't actually select these to be posted. Okay, that'll be why. I made a boo-boo. It's fine. Let's make sure we actually select everything this time. Go. Got your first million, mostly on 168 leather mail and flipping. Shout out for the big brain. Hey, congratulations. There's been some good possible markets in the 168 gear, and I still to this day credit it mostly to the fact that TSM doesn't really work very nicely with it, for one of the reasons why, I mean, you really kind of have to hack TSM to make it even work, which has kind of led to, less people trying. And of course, the less people trying to sell the items, that usually in turn means that there's a sizable profit in it for those that are willing to take the time and effort to do it. Once you get the first million though, the second and third million come really quickly. So let me know when you hit 3 mil. It's really good to hear. Right, so that's everything listed on there right now. We are still chunking away on these. I need to do a full low level restock for leatherworking. I've been grinding my ass off the last couple of days trying to get some of the old leatherworking patterns that I'm missing. I was having a load of fun yesterday going through old Burning Crusade content, because Burning Crusade holds a lot of valuable transmog items. Burning Crusade had a lot of patterns that were kind of annoying to get, in terms of the fact that the patterns would be rare world drops, or they'd have relatively high reputation requirements to get them, meaning by this point in time just so few people even have the ability to craft these items that there's a sizable chunk of change in them for those that do. And I was also thinking, now I know I've already got the Zero to Hero series up and running, which is Something that has taken a backseat at the moment while we focus on legendaries a little bit again. But I was thinking since the Burning Crusade, we're going to get a beta for that relatively soon. And Burning Crusade as an expansion is fresh in the minds of a lot of people right now. I was thinking about spending a bit of time going back and, you know, completing the Burning Crusade, but on retail. Just, you know, making sure I've done all of the quests in all of the zones, collecting a whole bunch of the plans and the patterns for my professions, going and grinding out some of the old dungeons for some of the old pets that you can get from there, because they're still reasonably good sellers, seeing what the gold making opportunities are, but within the Burning Crusade expansion. Primals, for example, primals still to this day, I think the regional average price for a primal fire is about 500 gold, which is mental, considering it's like the material itself is like 10 years old at this point. But they're naturally just a bit of a pain in the ass to farm, which is what's made them hold their value. For a few weeks, make a group with TSM and post it, but now using some sort of manual dumping of 3 of each piece works better for you. Yeah, it's interesting just how in some markets in Shadowlands, actually not using TSM is the easier way to do it. It's a bit of a weird one because you would expect that to use an add-on specifically designed for crafting would help the situation, when yeah, technically doesn't. What's still really, really frustrating to me is just how slow the development of Trade School Master is at the moment. I'm really not sure what's going on behind the scenes, but something is not good behind the scenes with Trade School Master, I feel. Something that is not being made very public, because development of the add-on right now is literally at a snail's pace. I got invited to join the TSM Alpha, I want to say over a month ago now, and in that time there's been, I want to say, like 2 very minor updates, which at this rate it's never going to go into beta and it's never going to go public. And by the time it does, it'll be time to redo it again. I do worry for what's happening behind the scenes at TSM. I think there's a serious profitability issue. I think they're trying to expand into they want to become data experts rather than an add-on creator, I think. But the worry is that the Trade School Master application, and I think Trade School Master actually costs quite a lot to upkeep because of the amount of data that they're dealing with, server costs, bandwidth fees, this sort of thing. And I worry that Trade School Master is losing a lot of money, which is hence why development has ground to a halt. Now, none of that is confirmed. This is all speculation because I don't know. But I think Trade School Master or whoever, we know Sapyu is the lead developer. I'm not entirely sure if he owns it though, because they are technically a fully fledged company nowadays. They might have another big project they're working on behind the scenes, like a big B2B project that brings in the funds. There's if you dive into TSM and you try and look at who is or what is the company that owns Trade School Master, there's some you'll find some interesting things. Let me put it that way. But I really do struggle to believe that the very, very small amount of the actual users who become TSM Premium members So hence, you know, I mean, what's TSM Premium now? It's like $2 a month or something. I don't even know. You pay for it by the year anyway, I think. My concern is that it's just not generating any revenue, because it appears to be basically Sapyu who is developing it in his own time, in his spare time, simply because, like yourself, individual add-on developers are able to develop their add-ons substantially faster than what TSM are doing right now. And when development grinds to a halt, like it has been, it's usually cause for concern somewhere. I should probably just ask Gumdrops, but the likelihood is that they, even if he knows, he might not even say. Right, we're 6 minutes away from having all of these crafted, so we are getting there. The issue is, though, once we've crafted all of this heavy callous hide, we then have to go back and turn most of it into enchanted, which will be another few minutes. But then we should be able to restock our... then be able to restock the leatherworking gear at the very least. Yeah, there seems to, like I said, I've not dug too deep into it, but if you read the, if you go onto the Trade Schoolmaster website and you read the, oh, there's a spectral tiger cub on the black market auction house on my realm. Maybe we'll go put a bid on that. If you read the privacy policy for the Trade Schoolmaster on the Trade Schoolmaster website, you'll see that the company is Trade Schoolmaster is owned by a company called Gomberg Software. If you actually dig into who Gomberg Software is, it points to some very weird things. But like I said, it's all speculation. I don't know for a fact. Nor should I really be openly talking about it, I imagine, on stream, but hey, whatever. It's all conjecture. Would you say a 0.13 sell rate is good enough to post one at a time for a crafted product? 0.13, that basically means 13% of the auctions that get listed then end up selling, is what a 0.13 sell rate actually means. So roughly you're going to, roughly you would post that product, you know, say 10 times before it would sell on average. The 0.13 on a crafted product is pretty high. Is pretty high. Because you'll tend to find, if you look at, especially if it's past expansion stuff, you can see if you look at things like, let's scroll down a little bit. Shadow Scale gear, for example. Shadow Scale gear all has sort of roughly a 10% sale rate. Current content stuff usually floats around the 10% sale rate, because you've got to remember that if it's current content, there's usually more people crafting it and trying to sell it than there are people trying to buy it, which means that a large portion of the auctions that get listed then expire and don't get bought, simply because supply is almost always higher than demand on current content stuff. But if you dive back to past expansion stuff, let's go further than BFA though. Let's go a little bit further. Let's go, say, back to Legion content. You'll see very quickly the sale rate of stuff dips down into like the 1 or 2%. 0.01, 0.02 on most things is not uncommon. I would also point out that the sale rate, a lot of people tend to go by the sale rates nowadays. What a lot of people don't realise is the sale rate is entirely guesswork. There's some maths behind it that tries to work it out and tries to make it as accurate as possible. But the sale rate is basically Trade School Master don't know what the sale rate of items is. They have to work it out, and in this world that we live in with cancel scans, it's considerably more difficult for Trade School Master to accurately work out the sale rate of items. Because TSM only get a snapshot of what is on the auction house once an hour. So within that hour, a lot could change. And the way that the sale rate is worked out is it looks at the amount of items that are listed in one snapshot of the auction house, and then how many items are listed in the second snapshot of the auction house. Now it knows, it can make an educated guess to how many of those auctions expired, but it doesn't necessarily get exact information on when something sells. Only Blizzard has that data. So it's the sale rate is very, very much a guesstimate. Just returned to WoW, haven't played since MOP. What are the best goal-making professions these days? If you've just returned from MOP, I'm going to assume that you're not like super wealthy in the first place. Currently, we're still at a point in the expansion where farming is arguably one of the most profitable things you can do still. Either running around collecting herbs, picking up ore, selling that on the auction house. Skinning is easily the most profitable profession right now. Unless of course you have a lot of gold that you're willing to spend on crafting professions, then you can technically make more gold in less time with crafting professions. But like I said, it comes with the caveat that you need to spend a lot of gold on it. For reference, I've spent over 1 million gold on leatherworking already this morning in preparation for tomorrow. It's current expansion crafted gear, a lot of shadow scale gear. Thought it was rather high since heavy desolate armor kits are 0.28. Well, you will often find that consumable items do have a higher sale rate because people don't just buy one at a time, people buy multiple at a time. So the sale rate is sort of skewed slightly because of that. What's happening tomorrow? Did I miss something? Oh, it's just the fact that it's Saturday, and Saturday is usually a mini Wednesday. Wednesday is the big day of the week for us in the EU because it's reset day. But Saturday is usually a close second in terms of like profitability because it's the weekend, and people are like off work and they're out of school and they're playing the game more. So you usually you may not make as much. The profit's not usually as high on a Saturday, but you can almost guarantee you'll make a whole bunch of sales on a Saturday. Funny you said materials have bottomed out earlier. Materials have been crazy recently on my server. Fewer than 100 heavy callous hide and 1,000 lacestrite on the auction house. I mean, that sounds like you're playing on quite a small server, but it also probably sounds like there are some reasonably sized goblins that are just, hoovering it all up. Exactly like I did earlier with heavy callous hide. I just scooped it all up. In a weird sense, some material prices are actually slowly creeping up again because of the demand for legendaries right now. Makes restocking legendaries tough. Yeah, it's all about just you need to. This is why people don't necessarily understand why I say that you need so much gold to get into crafting, because I usually recommend people have at least 1 million gold before they really start focusing on crafting. Because nowadays you have to buy the materials when you see them available at the price that is good for you. And you need to not be able to buy some of them, you need to be able to buy all of them. because there are periods of time in the week where you just will not be able to buy the materials at a good price. So you need to be able to do exactly what I did earlier today, and you need to be able to throw 1,000,000 gold at leatherworking to buy the materials when they're there at a good price. Because if I tried to buy my materials in small quantities and I started to, restock slowly on a Wednesday or a Saturday, I'd end up either not being able to buy the materials at all, or I'd end up having to pay a premium for the ones that are there. So it's just become the meta now, that with no real barrier to entry in terms of, like, there's no ranks, there's no reputation needed. You don't even need to be 60 for half of the professions nowadays. You can find an advantage by buying your materials cheaper and buying your materials in bulk when they appear. .0.5 moved the prices because goblins started to print gold selling Legos again. Well, yeah, kinda. If you don't have enough gold, maybe only make the one legendary that makes the most profit. Well, that's true, but you also need to try and work out which legendary that's going to be, and that swings massively. Just because you look at an add-on or you look at the auction house and you look and you see that there could be 20,000 gold profit in selling a certain legendary right now, that legendary might have just recently been reset. It might not actually be selling for that price. It might just be listed for that price. There's so many variables in it. This is why I always recommend people start slow and start small. Because if you try and just dive in the deep end with legendaries, you are likely to drown. Even if you've got reasonable experience in what you're doing. Because you've got to remember, there's people now that will have 10 times the amount of gold you have and will do stupid things. You can't rely on people to be sensible. For example, the Wednesday just gone, there was one person that for no apparent reason whatsoever decided to tank the entire leatherworking market for virtually the entirety of Wednesday. For no reason other than they claim they had all of the gold that they wanted and they don't really care right now. Dick move, for sure, but people will do that. So you've got to tread lightly. Used 2/3 of my money to buy Eternal Crystals for 245 to 285. Now they're selling for 296. You do know that selling them at 296 is not going to turn you a profit, right? You'll actually be losing money selling them at 296. Because the auction house will take its 5% cut, and 5% on 300 gold is 15 gold. Which means if you're selling them for 296, you're actually making less than that. You'll actually only get about 280 back. You got to be really, really careful and know your numbers. Right, that appears to be all our callous hide turned into heavy callous hide. Good. Now we need to turn the rest of that heavy callous hide into enchanted. How's my day going? Not too bad. Sheep Slayer 87. Interesting name, but welcome. Right, let's send this over to my enchanter so we can balance it out. once that's all been balanced out, we should have enough to get really smashing through our restock on leatherworking. Small server, there's only 2 or 3 other people in legendaries. I figure one person is trying to keep everybody out the market by buying all the hides. Entirely possible, but especially because on a small server the profits are probably actually pretty high. I mean, I had, even on a medium population server, I had this issue pretty heavily when legendaries were a big thing. The first time, like 3 weeks into the expansion, for example, it wasn't a case of that I didn't have the gold to buy the heavy callous hide. I just quite simply couldn't buy heavy callous hide. There just wasn't enough of it available, and that was my bottleneck, that I just physically couldn't even buy it regardless of the price, which is a shit situation to be in, because when you see that there's like massive profit in some items, yet you can't craft those items because the materials just don't exist, it's mighty frustrating. And that's when you wish that you had bought all of the materials when they were there. Right, we've got a lot of heavy callous hide to turn into enchanted now. We're gonna run out of soul dust, you know. We need more soul dust. Now I could do some shuffling for soul dust, or I could just buy it and save myself a hell of a lot of time. Soul dust, especially when it's only 15 gold a piece. I'll have that much, please. How are we doing, DC? Welcome, welcome. Who am I sending this to? This fella. Go. Have some soul dust. I really need to get this auction house character to be up to 48. What is it? It's level 38. I'm 10 levels away. 10 levels away. What's 10 levels going to be? Roughly 15 minutes a level, something like that. And we need 10 levels. So 150. Less than 2 hours, maybe 3 hours worth of leveling. I'll have this guy at 48. The reason I want to be 48 is it means that I can level this dude's... I can get this guy enchanting. Once I max enchanting, I'll be able to craft the enchanted... the enchanted heavy callous hides, the enchanted lithium ore, the enchanted lightless silk, and I'll be able to do it all on my bank character, which will mean that it frees up my main account to be doing, you know, main account things like crafting or, you know, heaven forbid, actually playing the game, you know. That's the plan at least. Right, this is going to take a couple of minutes to do. I'm out of coffee and I'm thirsty, so I'm going to go grab a drink for a minute, boys and girls. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to do something I don't regularly do, but I need to do more frequently, and that's press the add button. So please don't all run away, but if you do choose to run away, hope you have a good day. I'll be back in 2 minutes, boys and girls. Alrighty, we're back. Hit me with ads and smash the like button. Where are the ads? I want to click on them to generate you money. You don't even need to click on the ads nowadays, boys and girls. You don't need to click on the ads. You just need to see them. That's all that matters. Alternatively, you could just press the join button and become a member of the coffee club here. Get a cool little coffee cup next to your name in chat. Stand out a little bit. Get access to a private Discord channel for coffee club members, where we only talk about the hottest goal making tactics and post stupid memes. See, Stream Elements is in the know. Coffee Club Discord is right there. Follow me on Twitter. Stream Elements is a smart guy. That Stream Elements, got to give it to him. Right, so where did we get to with our enchanted heavies? And naughty pictures of Wiggly Boys. that sounds odd. I know what you mean, but that sounds odd. I craft the enchants and don't sell the Eternals. Just buy my mats when it was the cheapest. Oh, I see. Okay. I was concerned you were trying to flip the Eternal crystals, but no. That if you're at least getting some use out of them, then you should hopefully be making some profit on the enchants once they sell. There we go. You see. Not only did you get a cool little coffee cup next to your name, you know. You get that warm feeling inside. And that warm feeling is not just the coffee. Trust me. Right, this is going to take a hella long time. Hang on, have we... I think the amount of soul dust we have is very close to what we actually need here, because of course we're not actually turning all of them into enchanted heavies, because we need equal numbers of enchanted to, you know, regular. We need to balance the books. Once the books are balanced, we can stop cooking the books. Do I drop herbalism or skinning on my druid to give him leatherworking? Arguably neither. My advice is never ever ever to drop a profession, but it's at least if it's a gathering profession, yeah, maybe, because at least there comes a point where you have enough gold to not need to go out and farm materials yourself anymore. But there are still occasions where you'll then go, damn, I could really do with my herbalist now, or I really wish I had a skinner now. And having to level it all up again is you know, not a great idea. I would very, very simply just recommend, you know, just put the profession on an alt. Rarely do you need to be even level 60 on that alt nowadays. And even if you do have to be level 60 on that alt, well, you know, treat them like a proper alt. Give them some love. Get them some levels. Trust me, long term it'll be a lot more beneficial to have multiple characters with all of the professions available to you than it will be to just keep swapping out the professions on your main character. Druids are good to have as gathering alts. That's very true. Druids are easily the best. Easily best in slot when it comes to gathering. They're just super speedy, got loads of movement potential. Simply the fact that they're a class that has a tank spec. Like, each spec is kind of good at its own thing, which makes Druids like so unique in that fact. It's just, I mean, just to summarize the reasons why Druids are so good at what they do. Crazy movement speed. You've got the option of Feral, which with very little work can get to be ridiculously fast. Boomkins are just the AoE kings for any sort of like hyperspawn farms. You can go Guardian, and Guardians are just easily the best for skinning, simply because they've got instant cast ranged AoE, just mad survivability. They've got so many defensive cooldowns. You can pull massive quantities of things, grind them all down. If you're doing any herbalism or mining, you have the instant cast travel form, which it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you have a 1.5 second cast timer 50 times an hour, it's a couple of minutes that you've saved every hour. And that's just the ones I can think of off the top of my head. When you're in cat form, you can cast Moonfire whilst in cat form, which makes tagging things, if you're doing like low-level dungeons or whatever, they're just crazy good. Everybody should have at least one, if not two, druids for any sort of farming or that sort of stuff. Even if, I mean, I don't even like the druid class from a play style point of view. I don't really enjoy the druid class, but I've currently got 2 druids above level 50, and I'm working on a 3rd. That's just on this server as well. I mean, I've got probably 20 druids across different servers, but mounting up in the Maw, dream walking in and out of dungeons for transmog, they're just so powerful. They're so powerful. Where do you think the best spots for skinning are? All this Guardian Druid talk makes me want to do some pulls for an hour or two. I don't really keep much track, to be honest, because it changes so frequently. I'll be truthful with you. I'm not the channel to look at for the best or the most hottest farming spots, because I basically don't do any farming ever. I let my gold do the farming for me. I would much rather go to the auction house and spend gold on the materials than I would to go out and farm them myself. It is obviously more of a risk for me to do that, but I can get more done in less time, which is key for me. The other side dungeon, killing elite beasts have better chance for the Callus. Yeah, that's assuming that you've got a Guardian Druid that's also relatively geared as well. You want to be at least item level 180, preferably 200 plus, before you can start actually soloing those elites at any reasonable speed. Oh yeah, not to mention that druids have stealth as well whenever it's needed for farming. There's another reason why druids are just ridiculously powerful at what they do. We're going to have over 1,000 enchanted heavy callus hides at this rate. Or very close to by the time we've finished. Hey, maybe we'll max out Bone Shatter gear today. No, what am I talking about? I'm never going to max out Bone Shatter gear. Gathering is obviously a low-level goblin activity. If you can make it fun and you enjoy doing it, all the better to you. I tend not to. If my only goal is to go out and grind something for the purpose of getting an item, like hunting for transmog, for example, I don't mind running low-level dungeons, for example, as long as there's at least 2 reasons for me to be doing it. For example, yesterday I did basically a sweep of all of the Burning Crusade raids yesterday, because there's a whole bunch of leatherworking patterns that I still needed from Burning Crusade. Now that was quite fun for me. I picked up a few transmog pieces, I ran the raid, I got a couple of pets I didn't have before. These are all things that if I was doing it over and over again, instead of keeping the pets and keeping the transmog appearances for myself, they would become things that I would then look to sell. So there's gold to be made in the farming aspect there. Secondly, when I get the pattern that I'm actually hunting for, I can then I feel as if I've achieved something. Something permanent, and that's the thing. I guess that's the reason why I tend to not like farming very much, is that there's no permanent benefit to you. Like if I'm going to go out and I'm going to farm a zone or a dungeon, I want there to be a permanent reward, and that permanent reward for me is usually like a new crafting plan or something. Because once you've got the plan, you can recraft that same item as many times as you need to. If you're only farming for transmog, you run the risk of not getting any good transmog in the first place. And then even then, if you do get a good piece of transmog, if you sell it, you've not got anything permanent out of it still. Yeah, you've got more gold than you started with, but it's not any easier for you to do that again, which tends to be why, if I'm going to invest my time in doing something, I want a permanent reward out of the end of it. And transmog alone is not permanent enough of a reward in my mind. I hope that makes sense. Bastion by Aspirant's Rest to be the best for skinning. There's probably a good, I'm sure people know of some pretty good good spots for that. We're nearly there. Over 900 enchanted heavy callous hides right now. We're not gonna quite get 1,000 of them. But so this is going to be the result of about 1.5 million gold worth of materials. I would hope to be able to turn this into 3 million gold. That's my plan, at least. Any world quest that involves killing beasts is great. Yeah, that tends to be because they'll hyperspawn. A world quest where you have to kill things is likely to hyperspawn so that you can have as many people there doing the quest at the same time, and people can still progress with it. But there also tend to be places that Blizzard will nerf really quickly if they get too popular. Right, we're almost there. We can almost recraft and restock our leatherworking. I'm hoping this is going to be enough. I'm really hoping this is enough. I've looked at my list of things I need to craft though, and it's pretty sizable. One more. Boom. 941 enchanted heavy callous hides, 941 heavy callous hides. Right, let's go. Let's go. I didn't even need my extra soul dust, look. I'll take it so that TSM knows that it exists, though. Right, there's one person in chat that is going to be annoyed with me, the fact that I'm still manually restocking my legendaries. But unfortunately, it's the best way for me to do it right now. Ironically, the skinning world quests are a waste of time since the spawn rate of the mobs are low and the reward is bad. Yeah, that is kind of funny actually. You can get better results by not skinning in a skinning world quest zone. Yeah, I'd not really thought of that before, but it is entirely true. Right, so I've been using my Shadowlands cheat sheet again to do my restocking. Any of you guys that, I mean, most of you guys will have seen my Shadowlands cheat sheet. I don't use it as much as I needed to at the beginning, but if you are dealing with legendaries, it's kind of very helpful. You can put in your server prices for materials. So I've been buying heavy callous hide at about 500 gold a piece. Makes the enchanted ones 1,000 gold a piece, give or take. My heavy desolate leather price has gone up to about 30 recently. My desolate leather price is about 3. And the boil shards, I'm still paying 106 gold for my boil shards because I really can't be asked to grind to exalted. But so this you put your server prices in here and it basically tells you the crafting cost of each of the different items and at each of the different ranks. So you can see even with these mediocre prices, even on the cheapest item like the arm guards for example, it would still cost you over 500,000 gold just to unlock rank 4, which is a lot of cheddar. Can I ask you another TSM question? Sure, all day. I want my crafting operation to have a minimum profit of 10%, but nothing lower than 50 gold profit. So my string looks like this: minimum 50 gold or 10% crafting. But it still restocks items that are like 10 gold on the auction house. That's probably because the items that are like 10 gold on the auction house, it's valuing those items based on their market price, not on what is the current minimum price on the auction house. For starters, yes, you also need to put max rather than min. So it uses the larger of the two. Because if it only costs 100 gold, if it only costs 100 gold to craft something, 10% of that is 10 gold, and that's the smaller number. You want it, yeah, it needs to be max, not min. That's a lot of cheddar and I'm lactose intolerant. double issues. Even their market price is like 10 gold. Yeah. I mean, Eliath hit the nail on the head. Firstly, it wants to be max, not min. Secondly, you want to make sure now. It actually sounds like it's still set up correctly, because if you open up Trade Skill Master and you go to settings and you go to crafting, this here, default craft value method. This is how when you do crafting within Trade Skill Master, this is how it values the items that you craft. It firstly will look at the minimum buyout currently on the auction house. So, and you got to remember though, this is a snapshot that can be out of date. So if TSM will only update this snapshot once an hour. If we go and look at, I suppose I should probably use the TSM interface. So when we go to do some crafting, If TSM tells us, let's just look, for example, Shadow Scale Wasteguard. I don't know if this is a good example or not yet, but in fact no, let's pick something that doesn't have multiple ranks. Let's just go I don't know, whatever. I can't think of a good example. Dread leather foot pads, right? Okay. Nothing's a good example right here. Okay, let me start again. Basically, the Trade School Master, at the moment, my TSM data is 3 hours, 19 minutes old. So whatever it thinks the current minimum buyout is, you can see it says min buyout 2,365 gold. That was the current minimum buyout 3 hours, 19 minutes ago when it last did its update, which means that it could very well be totally different to that now. That's always going to be the problem that you'll have with Trade School Master, is that if its data is just out of date, it's just out of date. But if there isn't a DB min buyout on the item that you're crafting, it will revert to the DB market price. But you want to have this DB min buyout in here somewhere. So if somebody's posted something stupidly cheap, you obviously don't want to craft it because, yeah, they've obviously posted it really cheap for a reason as well. But mostly changing min to max, though, will, you know, fix your problem. Yeah, when you start getting really fancy, then your crafting operations start looking like this, and you start doing some weird and wacky stuff with it. But fundamentally, it's doing something very similar. Right, let's take all of this. Stack it high, sell it cheap. Or in my case, stack it high, sell it not cheap. If possible. Right, I need some of this desolate leather and bits. Well, we'll grab that out the bags as and when we need it. Let's I could do with putting some of that stuff in the bank, actually, to be fair. I think finally, 1 hour 38 into me starting the stream, we might actually be able to restock leatherworking. Feel like a pro goal maker watching you every now and then. Hey, everybody can be a pro goal maker. Everybody can be a pro goal maker. I mean, there is somewhat the argument that if everybody's a pro goal maker, then nobody actually wins, but that's the problem for the other people on your server that don't watch my content. Right, let's put some of this in here out the way for now. We're going to need materials. I'm running out of storage space. I could do with like some leatherworking specific, like 700 slot bags or something. I'm still rocking hexweave bags, actually. This is a problem. That probably hexweave bags on my main character. Really? I should really upgrade those to at least 32 slot bags. Wow, 32 is the max, isn't it, nowadays? But yeah, I should really upgrade those hexweave bags. Maybe one day. Like the silk bags are dirt cheap. Yeah, it's genuinely like I really have no real excuse for having only hexweave bags on my main character. If I'm gonna be honest. Right. Hopefully we've got enough materials now. Hopefully. Whew. Better do. I'll tell you what, after spending stupid gold, I really hope we've got enough now. Did you try the beta of the new LST update? No, I didn't. No, I didn't, is the honest answer. I've run across a few weird things with LST in the last few days. Plus, I've also reverted back to my Walmart approach, so I'm not restocking things based on profit anymore. Which means that I don't think that the update will really offer me personally anything. But go on then, buy the bag. Oh Jesus, am I gonna have to buy the bags? What? Consumables bag. Where's containers bag? Go big slots. Big slots. Shall I buy the Hope Breakers pack? Should we buy one of those? Shall we? What do I need? I need 3 of them. Did it buy? There we go. 3 outrageously expensive lightless silk pouches. You happy now? There we go. There we go. You know what's really annoying? Is now this Papa's Mint condition bag is the only bag that has this weird 2 thing at the top. I almost want to downgrade this one to a lightless silk pouch just so that they're all evenly square. That's my level of OCD, you know. They even made it so that you don't have to empty bags to equip a new one. Yeah, it's true. Right. Oh no! Oh, it's done a weirdness. It's done a weirdness on my pretty stacking of things. Ah, whatever. Let's just press the button. Right. Leather working time. Whew. Where's my restock list that I made? Where's restocking 2.0? Here we go. Here's my list of things to make. I'm going to throw this off to the side. What were the problems you were experiencing with LST? Because I sell and because I restock on one account and craft on another, I was getting a massive variancy in the profits on one account as to another, even though Trade School Master was syncing, and I couldn't work out for the life of me why. But like I said, I've now actually switched to the fact that I don't even take profit into consideration when I'm crafting now anyway. I just craft up to a certain number and then only end up recrafting what I sell. I'm very sure it's got something to do with the fact that I'm crafting on one account, selling on another, but I don't actually know, is the honest answer. Because I can't remember exactly how LST works behind the scenes. I think if I knew that, I might be able to figure it out myself, but I've reverted to the Walmart style approach for legendaries, so. Right, let's start with the big stuff that we need. Big stuff, and more importantly, stuff that we don't have any of. Umberhide gauntlets. We'll start with Umberhide stuff, because Bone Shatter's less in demand. I technically need 3 of these. I'll make 1 to begin with. I'll take a slowly approach to this, I think. Umberhide legs at rank 4. That means I now have at least one of every rank 4. Let's make sure I have at least one of every rank 3. Umberhide vest at rank 3. I have anxiety when I see you don't use an authenticator. Oh, I do. I do use the authenticator. Relax. There's a reason why that I don't have the 4 extra bag slots. And it's due to the way the mobile system works in my country. It's a bit weird. Don't worry, I do have an authenticator. Umberhide treads at rank 3. Gauntlets at rank 3. Helm at rank 3. Must have sold a lot of rank 3s over the last day or so. And then legs at rank 3 as well. Right. I'd imagine it would still be useful just to restock if all you use is a large negative number as the minimum profit. Then you can still craft away with one button instead of thinking and going through all the ranks. Yeah, plus another issue I ran into is I stock 3. I tried to stock 3 of every rank 4 legendary. And somehow I ended up with 6 of some rank 4 legendaries and even 9 of some rank 4 legendaries. So when it was something weird was going on, that it wasn't tracking the fact that I already had them, and was causing me to restock items that I didn't actually need to restock. But I can't pinpoint exact scenarios of that happening or try and work out why it happened. Possibly because, I don't know, maybe I hadn't checked the auction house first, but I don't know. But I've reverted to doing it manually, temporarily anyway. Right, let's now craft the rank 2s that we need. We need treads at rank 2. Gauntlets at rank 2. Legs at rank 2. Shoulders at rank 2. I've also completely stopped crafting rank 1s, even if they're profitable. I just can't be doing with rank 1s. Mainly because I see huge, wild swings in price of the rank 1s. It's probably that you sent the items to your banker account, but never sent the data from your banker account to your crafter. So your crafter didn't know your... yeah, possibly. I know there's something I'm probably doing wrong. It's probably not the add-on itself. I'm quite sure the add-on works exactly as intended, but user error caused me to do something weird. And crafting 6 additional rank 4 legendaries was a bit too expensive for my liking. I sold them all though, mind, so it's fine, but... I get it and I thank you for it. Signed, a lowly pleb trying to rank up, only keeping 1 stock so I don't lose too much. Yeah, I've stopped I've stopped crafting rank 1s because there'll be like a split moment in time where a rank 1 for some reason will be profitable, but then the day after it'll be 50% of crafting cost again. Because 10 people have spotted it and tried to craft the rank 1s. The rank 1s are way too volatile for me to even bother with. So I still have a few kicking about, but for the most part, I don't even craft rank 1s anymore. I'd rather spend the materials on rank 2s, 3s and 4s, which I know, even in this day and age, are at least a little bit more exclusive. Even if only marginally. Right, we need to craft a few bits of bone shatter stuff before we fully restock on Umber Hide. So I need at least 1 bone shatter helm at rank 4. I need at least a bone shatter arm guards at rank 4. This is one I sold for like 60k like earlier today. I definitely need to make sure I've got some spare ones of those. And a bone shatter helm at rank 3. That will ensure I have at least one of... Oh no, hang on. Bone shatter vest at rank 2. I want to ensure that I have at least one of every legendary, and then with spare materials, my spare materials I will use to prop up the stocks of stuff that I know sells well. This is also why I don't particularly want. This is no downfall of legendary stock tracker. It's saved me a hell of a lot of time so far this expansion. But when materials are somewhat scarce, I want to have a little bit more control over exactly which items I craft. And there's no way I can program an add-on to prioritize the crafts the way that I would if I did it manually, if that makes sense. Like, I'm very, very specifically choosing which ones to craft next based on the materials that I have. And, you know, the reasons. Because of reasons. Right, now I can start stocking up more so with what have we got left? 741 inch heavy. Okay, we got plenty. We got plenty. We can keep going with this. Let's go one more of every Umber Hide. Umber Hide arm guards at rank 4. Go. Umber Hide pauldrons at rank 4. Go. Legs at rank 4. Where the hell have the legs gone? Oh shit, I've been doing bone shatter gear. I didn't mean to do. Hang on, bone shatter pauldrons. That's fine, that's fine. That's not the end of the world. I needed some of them anyway. It should have been Umber Hide shoulders though. I mean, oh no, family friendly. Yeah, I mean, I'm at the moment I'm kind of at a position where an add-on, just any add-on, regardless of what it can do, is actually not really useful to me because of the way that I'm trying to do it. Umber Hide legs at rank 4. Didn't I just craft one of that? Oh, I'm losing track of what I'm doing. Umber Hide helm at rank 4. And gauntlets at rank 4. It's scary to think every time I press this craft button it's costing me like 30,000 gold. Okay. Bone shatter vests at rank 4. ×2. Go. I think I've got enough materials to do a full restock, which means I'm just going to go for it. Bone shatter helmet rank 4 ×2. Bone Shatter Pauldrons at rank 4 times 1. Bone Shatter Arm Guards at rank 4 times 2. Bone Shatter Helm at rank 3. And Gauntlets at rank 3. Wow, I actually need a Bone Shatter Gauntlets. We're progressing. We're progressing on our rankage. That right there's the reason I was so motivated to push for LST crafting. I was making way too many Bone Shatter pieces when I wanted to be making Umberhide stuff. Yeah. Yeah, you can never account for misclicking. That's for sure. Right, materials wise, we're still 500 plus. We're still good. We're still good. What are we actually short on though? We're definitely short on summon because these numbers are looking small. 480 heavy desolate leather. We need more heavy desolate leather. I just so happen to have some. Let's put it here out of the way. Right, now we're on full restock mode now. Arm guards at rank 4. Arm guards at rank 3. Waist guard at rank 4. And a waist guard at rank 3. Shoulders next. Legs at rank 4. Move to helm quickly. I'll catch up on chat in a minute. I want to get these last few crafted. Gauntlets at rank 4. Gauntlets at rank 3. Boots at just rank 3 this time. And vest at rank 3. Oh boy, okay. That was a lot of leatherworking. That now means that we have 3 of every rank 4, 2 of every rank 3, and 1 of every rank 2. And we might have some rank 1s kicking about, but I'm not choosing to craft them. Oh, Jesus. We've still got 300 enchanted. So we've got the ability to do a bit of restocking tomorrow if we sell through some of that on the really, really hot sellers. That's good. That's good. My LST tells me to stock things I have in stock or things that you can't create. There's a button for that now, I think. I think Stroh's just told you. I've just used my alts to ensure that they have the max everything able to be crafted, like potions and enchants, so I can pick and choose where to gather while I level. On my server, ranks 1 to 3 lose about 2 to 6k per crafted item, but the rank 4s are making 20k plus. Is it actually worth getting into legendaries from 0 ranks? Well, I mean, if you do the maths on that, if you're potentially going to have to lose 2 to 6k, let's take the lower end of that then. If you've got to lose 2,000 gold for every single crafted item, and you have to take the time to sell it, you're going to make 45 legendaries to unlock rank 4. So 45 times 2k, that's 90,000 gold. You're going to have to spend 90,000 gold, and that's on the assumption that you can sell all of them. You have to sell 45 legendaries to only lose 90,000 gold. And you've got to consider the time it could potentially take you to craft those. That would then mean that even at the lower end of that, if you're making 20k profit per rank 4, you would need to sell at least 5 rank 4s just to cover the cost of what it took you to get there. Whilst when you look at the total amount of sales that you're going to need to make, that's 45 sales of rank 1s, 2s and 3s, plus an extra 5. You're going to need to sell 50 legendaries to break even. And that is best case scenario. That is assuming that you sell everything and assuming that it's at the lower end of that price point. You'd have to sell 50 legendaries to break even. I wouldn't do it. Not at this point. You're not going to sell 50 legendaries on most servers in any time soon. I mean, you've also got to consider that you've got so much more time on top. Like, the time it would take to sell 50 legendaries, it's going to take you a couple of weeks to do that. Even on a big server, because the bigger the server, the more competition you're going to have, the more time you're going to need to spend cancel scanning. Arguably, and even mathematically, it doesn't really make sense. It's hence why I tend to lean towards whilst you're ranking up, you want to be crafting one and selling one. Now, you're going to have a harder time to begin with, but at least you won't be losing gold whilst you do it. It took me, this is at the beginning of the expansion, I for the most part went by that theory of craft one, sell one. And I did that for a good period of time, and it still took me probably 3 to 4 weeks to unlock like most rank 4s. And that was at a point in time where legendaries were popping and sales were frequent. Nowadays it would probably take you double that. Yeah, crafting your way up profitably is possible, because the less items you're dealing with, the greater chance you actually have of selling it. That's something that doesn't really get taken into consideration much. If you're only cancel scanning one item, you can keep your item first in the queue virtually until it sells. Because big goblins like me are trying to deal with 100 legendaries, 100 different legendaries at a time, meaning the speed of our cancel scans is a lot slower, because we're just dealing with way more items. Right, let's get these items then sent over, and we can start restocking. Now that we've restocked the crafts, now we can start restocking the auction house itself. Whoa, not these. Where did they come from? That was a lot of legendaries we just made. I hope to sell all of those legendaries in the next few days for What did we say that we spent on enchanted heavy callous hide back then? We started with nearly 1,000. We started with, what was it, 941. We're down to 300. So it was about 600 of each. There was a crafting cost of all of that. Had a crafting cost, I'd say, of probably 1.5 million by the time you take things like the boil shards into consideration. We hopefully are going to need to sell that for about 3 million by the time it all sells. Hopefully. Calculated on my server, there's 0 items that are profitable between ranks 1 to 3 on average across all. It's also very possible that the big goblins just keep the rank 1s, 2s and 3s at a low price so that they can continue to make profit on the rank 4s. Because they've already paid the price of getting to rank 4 and have made money from doing it in the first place. The barrier to entry is often the other goblins on your realm when it comes to legendaries. I know how the other goblins on my realm work, and there's only 1 or 2 that annoy me on a regular basis with how they post. For the most part, the goblins on my realm, we're all somewhat in agreement that we'll play the cancel scan game, because we all make a couple of mil a day when we do it, and everybody makes, or at least all of us goblins make gold, and we don't, screw each other over deliberately. Got rank 2 cloth gear at less than 2k gold. Cloth is the worst example of it, because simply because tailoring is the cheapest. Tailoring is the cheapest of the legendary. Yeah, tailoring is just cheapest to get into, full stop. Which means that, yes, a lot of the early stuff in tailoring is like super less than crafting cost. Less than a boil shard vendor crafting cost. Kind of silly. There's some crazy stuff goes on at the lower end of the tailoring market. I wish it was that amicable on my server. It's, yeah, there's only one. I'm not saying it's a perfect haven. There's, like I said, there's still a couple of goblins that do stupid things on a regular basis. But for the most part, it's there's only, I'd say there's 4 big players in the legendary market on my realm, plus me, so 5 in total. I'm talking big players. I'm talking people that have every legendary unlocked at every rank, and actually, put some time and effort into crafting and posting. There are 20 other, people leveling and working their way up, but there's only a handful of us that have everything unlocked. It's weird why they didn't make a rare, heavy, lightless silk reagent for tailoring Legos. Tailoring's been all over the place for a long time. We in the early days of Shadowlands, we kind of came up with a argument for either a new profession, like a cloth scavenging profession. Because when you look at it at face value, right, blacksmiths need miners to gather their materials. Leatherworkers need skinners to gather their materials. Tailors are self-sufficient. They're the only armor crafting profession that's self-sufficient. Not only are they self-sufficient, they also get more. Because if you are a tailor, you get more cloth. Added on to the fact that every person in the game can gather cloth to begin with, all of this combined is usually why cloth is stupidly cheap. Because there's often just way too much of it in comparison. And then when you look at leatherworking, for example, leatherworking, not only does leatherworking require skinners to get the materials in the first place, they also have an extra rare level of crafting cost on top of that. So which has made the materials more valuable in the first place. Because arguably, callus hide is basically the same as lightless silk. It's roughly on a level. But lightless silk is what you then use to make your legendaries. Whereas you have to turn the callus hide into heavy callus hide first. Which is hence why heavy callus hide is like 10 times the price of a lightless silk on most realms. On top of that, you have to remember that leatherworking is responsible for both leather and mail. So it's got twice as many items it needs to craft. So there's almost like it's 10 times more expensive for a leatherworker to make a single item than a tailor to begin with. And those materials are being shared across, what is it, like 6 classes that use leather and mail? It's so out of balance. So out of balance. Like, you have tailoring where there's all of these materials all of the time, and you have, what is it, mages, warlocks, and priests? They're the cloth wearers, right? Mages, warlocks, priests, it's 3 classes. So all of these materials for tailoring go into only 3 classes. Whereas on the other end of the scale, you have like leatherworking that's trying to provide, I think it's 6 classes. Did we work it out to be 6 classes with their legendaries? You got hunters, demon hunters, druids, monks, rogues, and shamans. Have I missed anybody that uses either mail or leather? I think it's 6. So you've got 10 times more expensive materials and arguably rarer materials going into twice as many classes. So it's just so out of balance. So out of balance, it's not even funny at this point. Druid, rogue, demon hunter, monk, hunter, shaman. Yeah, 6 classes. We need a mail tank. I don't even really think that would make any difference. I think that would just add to the problem. Four leather, 2 mail, 3 plate, 3 cloth. Yeah, I guess when you look at, because Demon Hunter's new, I mean, it's because the system is still exactly the same way it was all the way back in vanilla. Yet since vanilla, we've had Death Knights being added, so that was 1 extra plate wearer. But then we've had Demon Hunters, which use leather, and we've had monks that also use leather. So since the original crafting system was designed all the way back in vanilla, we've had 1 more plate class and 2 more leather wearers. So it's got wildly out of balance. Problems that leatherworking covers 6 classes, right? It's a combination. Not only does leatherworking have to support twice as many classes, because leather and mail, so that's 6 classes. What does Demon Hunter even use? Demon Hunter's leather. Yeah, not only is leatherworking trying to supply twice as many classes with their profession, with the items, the materials they need are also considerably rarer. It is the exact reason why leatherworking legendaries have been 2, 3, 4 times the price what plate or cloth legendaries have been. First point is to introduce a cloth gathering profession. Well, this is what we were talking about, like way back when Shadowlands first came out, that it seems really odd that any man and their dog, or hang on, 2021, any person and their dog can gather cloth. Now, tailors are more effective at doing it, sure, but everybody was gathering cloth. So there was always a really, really steady supply of cloth from the word go. Yet, mining supply... Oh, there's another added thing, let's not forget, that blacksmiths require miners for their ore, but let's not forget that ore is also going to engineers and jewel crafters. So even the fact that blacksmiths require ore for miners, the miners themselves, their stuff is going to other professions as well. Tailors are just in the bubble. Tailors are just in this little bubble. Like, everybody can gather their materials. There's always loads of it. And tailors are the only people that need the cloth. Within reason. Tailors are the only people that then need the cloth. And everybody gathers it for them. So, just flooded, unlimited materials. Tailors have unlimited materials. Blacksmiths are sharing the miners between the jewel crafters. The jewel crafters are the big problem. Because jewel crafting sucks up a lot of the materials, especially the lacerite. Now, I know for the point of legendaries, you don't need lacerite, but you do need the zone-specific ores, because they go into making shadowghast ingots, which are then also shared with jewel crafters. And then you've got leatherworkers who need skinners, and skinners, you know, can only get like 10 heavy callous hide an hour. and you need like 40 to 80 heavy callous hide to make one item. Like 4 hours, like this one single item. Let's see if I can find one. Here we go. Umber hide legs at rank 4. Okay? Umber hide legs at rank 4. What's the actual... Umber hide legs, rank 4, 20 enchanted heavy callous hide, so you got to double that, so that's 40 heavy callous hide, plus another 20 heavy callous hide, so 60 heavy callous hide goes into making just one of these legs, right? 60 heavy callous hide, which is about 4 hours worth of work for a single skinner. 4 hours worth of skinning goes into making just one of these. Yet you look at the other side of the scale and you look at tailoring, and yeah, alright, you need more materials when crafting the tailoring ones, but like every man and their dog gathers the materials for you, not just one specific profession. It's so out of balance. And this is why legendaries have been bonkers, and why leatherworking is just printing money once you've got it set up. How many hours of mining lacerite ore would it be for just one rank 4 ring? The rings are less of an issue because lacerite technically is lacerite is more considered a byproduct than it is anything else nowadays, which is why it's so cheap. People go out to gather zone-specific ore, and they just pick up the lacerite because they come across it. But 40 essences of rebirth and 40 essences of torment, it's definitely a good few hours, because you've got the RNG on top of it as well. Shouldn't have taken first aid out of the game, that used up so much cloth. Well, it's still in the game, it's just baked into tailoring now. You go to a bandage trainer, you have to have tailoring. But But fundamentally, it's out of the game, yeah. It's just... Yeah, it's so out of balance. So out of balance. Right, so we have now plenty... We're ready for the weekend in regards to leatherworking, which is good. Which is the point to where I wanted to get to. If we were to step into the mind of somebody who wants to go get the materials for their own ring, oh yeah, of course, yeah. There is... It is entirely out of the realms of possibility, I think, to be self-sufficient with legendaries. Because, I mean, the whole system's skewed from the word go, right? The fact that you need to craft 15 of each rank means that you are never going to do that for yourself. Why would you put yourself in the position of having to craft 15 items knowing that you are only ever going to need one of those 15 items? Not to mention, you can technically skip rank 2 and rank 3 and go straight to rank 4. There is nobody on the planet that has made their own legendaries. You just, unless of course you're like me, you just have rank 4s everywhere. But the whole system was perfectly engineered for a very small amount of goblins to capitalise. Honestly, it was a horrible decision. Sounds like a horrible design, but what if they made it... Well, the thing is I don't think... Like, you can call it a horrible design, but that sort of implies that it was designed. It can't be a horrible design unless somebody put in time to design it. I don't think any real conscious amount of effort went into the design of the legendary system from a crafting point of view. I think it was probably 1 or 2 people that put the entire system together in an afternoon. We saw there was, on the beta, there was some tweaks to the quantities of, to what you had to craft. Let's not forget that the way that this system was introduced first on the beta was that you needed to craft 20 of each. Then it went to the fact, then it changed so that you had to craft 10 rank 1s, but only 5 rank 2s and 5 rank 3s would have unlocked you rank 4. Then, about a week before Shadowlands went live, they stealthily changed it so that you then had to create 15, 15 and 15. And the only reason that people knew about that before the game went live is because I spent hours finding it out. Crafting legendaries on the beta like an absolute moron to try and find out what the experience breakpoints were. But yeah, it really wasn't designed very well at all, in my opinion. How are we doing, Graham? Welcome, welcome. Oh, you craft a rank 1, then the next one you craft will be rank 2, and then a rank 3, and then a rank 4, but then it resets back down to rank 1? Ugh, that sounds icky, because that means you just genuinely cannot... That's almost as bad, because that's forcing you in... If you want to make rank 4s, that's forcing you into also making rank 1s, 2s and 3s. There comes a point where you've made your rank 1s, 2s and 3s, and if you choose to, you then don't have to craft those anymore, because arguably it was theorised, and now we know that theory doesn't always play true, but it was theorised that rank 1s will always sell and rank 4s will always sell, and rank 2s and 3s will sell a lot less frequently because you can skip. Now, there's a lot of people that still don't know that you can skip ranks. They think that you have to buy a rank 1 and then upgrade it to rank 2 and then upgrade it to rank 3 and then upgrade it to rank 4. It blows my mind how many people still think that. Secondly, especially for leatherworking and especially for leather wearers and mail wearers, we didn't really foresee the prices being this ridiculous, which has kind of meant that not everybody is willing to spend 50k or what was 100k on their rank 4 after spending 70k on a rank 3 and after spending 50k on a rank 2. People just weren't willing to spend that amount of gold on one item, which has obviously, you know, played a part in how it all balances out. They wanted a crafter to become skilled in crafting a specific legendary. Well, this is it. This is what I don't think they realize. I don't think Blizzard realized that. Yes, they wanted one character to be skilled in crafting one thing, but they are just. I mean, Mythic Raiding should have told them this, right? You give somebody the option of doing something, and they will do it 110%. And us goblins and gold makers are exactly the same. If you could focus in on one item and make profit doing it, why would you not do the same on the others? Of course you would. But then it means that when you get a few power goblins who just end up controlling the entire market, they end up buying out all of the materials, and that then becomes the barrier to entry to everybody else. It's just badly designed. It's just bad. But like I said, it was hardly designed at all. Sure, a lot of people think that, but a lot of people also just want to upgrade. Well, this is it. With the fact that it's a weekly lockout, or sorry, your soul ash is weekly capped. It still baffles me that the same weekly cap is in place. And if you're a fresh character and you roll an ult, you still are limited. Like if you ding 60 today, it's still going to be 4 weeks before you'll be able to make your rank 4. There's no catch up with Soul Ash. I mean, they implemented Valor and gave you 5,000 Valor to farm straight away so that it acts like a catch up, but they kind of forgot about Soul Ash. I don't know. That's one thing that I expected to see in patch 9.0.5. Like, if they should treat Soul Ash like Valor points, like Conquest points, where if you step into it at a later date, you could just run Torghast a bunch of times and get and like work your way up to the account cap as such. But it's also worrying to me the fact that they didn't do that, which makes me think that they might just scrap the legendary system completely. I mean, that's a hot take considering the amount of gold that people have spent on their legendaries, and there's people like me that have literally millions of gold invested in these things. But it genuinely concerns me that they might just completely can legendaries in patch 9.1. They'll call it a season 1 thing and they'll write it off. They didn't forget about Soul Ash. They just want to max their engagement metric on Torghast runs being done every week. They'd increase their engagement on Torghast if they gave you a... Look what happened with Mythic Plus. Look how many people are now running Mythic Plus that weren't previously, because they have this big 5,000 Valor cap that they can achieve. I genuinely think that they would actually increase their... Because nobody is running Torghast at the moment unless they absolutely have to. Only if they're chasing the next rank of their whatever legendary they're working on are they still doing Torghast. But on alts, not so much. Maybe your main. Rank 1 should have been 197 or even more. I think the item level balancing was alright. The item level balancing makes sense, because you've got, what is it, you've got 190s, because there's big jumps. You go from 190 to 210, which is actually 20 item levels, which is a big jump. Then you go to 225, which is only a 15 item level jump, which is obviously much smaller. And then to 235, where it's only a 10 item level jump. So it kind of, I know these are all different items, but, you know, point be proven. I think it's, I think the step up in, maybe they didn't even want or expect everybody to go for rank 4s. But like I said, it's another one of those things that if you give the possibility of something being, people will want to achieve the maximum, get the best in slot. Nobody's going to stop at rank 3 because, oh, well, rank 4 is only 10 item levels more. No, they're going to go to rank 4, given the opportunity to. Which is also why I don't know how they would deal with rank 5 or rank 6. I did a video ages ago, it feels like ages ago, about what I speculate will happen with legendaries in 9.1. And I think we'll get a rank 5 and we'll get a rank 6. But they will only be 10 item level increments above. So I reckon rank 5 would be 245 and rank 6 would be 255. That would sort of tie in with what I think the new raid is going to be. Still keeping the legendaries that step above in item level for most players. And I reckon rank 5 you'll be able to pick up really quickly, really easily with almost no effort whatsoever. But it will be the rank 6 that you will then work towards, however they plan to do that. Whether it be like just, I don't know, run some more Torghast for a few weeks, I don't know. Maybe, hopefully they'll come up with something more you know, interesting. But like I said, the fact that we had a mid-tier patch, a patch 9.0.5, and we didn't get a catch-up to the legendary system worries me. It makes me feel that they might just be like, you know, they might just be writing it off. Calling it a Season 1 feature and then just be having done with it. Because I don't think this, I've said it multiple times, I don't think they will consider the crafting system that they designed for legendaries to be a success. They put so much time and effort into trying to balance the legendaries. That's the only thing that makes me think that they might keep it on later into the expansion. But at this point, it's if they were going to write off any feature that they implemented, I would put legendaries pretty high on that list. Covenants, they're going to keep, obviously, because they're going to play their part throughout the entire expansion. The conduit system is a bit of a dud. With the soul binds, that's a bit of a dud. But once again, they put so much time and effort into that they can't just scrap it instantly. But they're going to have a hell of a difficult time balancing it. The legendary system, yeah, they put a lot of time in. Well, did they really put a lot of time into the powers? Maybe. They stole a few past expansion glyphs. They weren't really super. It wasn't, but I mean, just quantity alone, there was like there's over 200 legendary powers or something ridiculous when you look at every class and every spec, and the fact that each class and spec has like 3 unique ones and then a bunch of generic ones. There's stupid amounts of them. They're empowering conduits come 9.1. Yeah, exactly. They've put way too much into that system to just delete it. But legendaries does worry me. If they consider the crafting system they've already designed a failure, to keep legendaries a thing, they're going to have to redesign the crafting system they can't just add on to what they've already got. If they give us a rank 5 and it requires us to craft 15 rank 4s, and they give us a rank 6 and it requires us 15 rank 5s, the material costs and the prices of them by that point will just be astronomical, which probably won't fly, which means a rank 5 is going to have to be like you get it quickly and easily from a quest chain or something like that. The only alternative is they add a, I don't know, like they just allow you to upgrade the rank 4 that you already have with even more soul ash, or more soul, is it soul ash? Yeah, with just throw more soul ash at it and it'll increase its item level in increments, like we have the Valor system now. But instead of using Valor to upgrade your legendary, you'll just use surplus amounts of soul ash, and it will just bump up its, and you'll be only able to do that on rank 4. So you'll have your rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, and then rank 4, and then your rank 4 will be able to be increased in item level with soul ash or something. There's a few ways they could do it, but either way they can't just add on to what they already have, because the material cost will get stupid. Why doesn't the next rank use the previous rank in the crafting? I mean, that could be a thing. It could be that a rank 5 requires a rank 4 plus a couple of extra materials, maybe. There's plenty of ways they could do it. The problem is it's already a confusing system. We've seen full well that people still to this very day, like yesterday, for example, somebody bought a rank 2, a rank 3, and a rank 4 off me in the space of about 5 minutes. Like, there was literally no reason for them to do that other than they just didn't know what they were doing. Maybe they'll use Valor to upgrade to rank 4 or 5. Yeah, I don't think they'd use Valor to do it. I think they would try and keep this Soul Ash currency that they've created and use that for it. I can't see why they would choose Valor when they could just use Soul Ash. Because your Valor is obviously there. I still think Valor's just a stopgap till 9.1. I think that will disappear in 9.1 as well. Gonna be some interesting things, but I'm gonna stop venting and yabbiting on, and let's actually do something constructive with our time. Wow, we've not been undercut. That means only one thing. That means I did an undercut ages ago and didn't relist everything. Yes, that's exactly what I did. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of ways Blizzard could do things when it comes to patch 9.1. But, like I said, the fact that there's no catch-up system for legendaries, there was no catch-up system added for legendaries in 9.0.5. There was no talk about legendaries at all at BlizzCon. Literally not a dime was said about the word legendary did not fall out of a developer's mouth even once. Almost so little, almost as if they were trying to ignore the situation completely, which leads me to believe they either don't know what they're doing with legendaries or they're getting rid of them. Yeah, I don't know. It's been such a major feature of 9.0 for them to not say anything at all. Like, literally not even a single line of text about legendaries. Lies, they did mention legendaries. They didn't say anything about them, though. I can't think of a single time they said anything about legendaries. Because even in the press release that went out, they listed like new dungeon, new raid, plus this, plus that, and more. Legendaries wasn't even on the list of things. It wasn't even in the extra added bits. They literally didn't say a single word about legend. Maybe on some interviews, possibly, that because I didn't have a chance to watch all of the interviews they did with individual people, but they did say legend. Oh, okay. Maybe you're being pedantic and I'm not reading it. Right, with, do we have, the next question on our restock is, do we have any enchanted Elysium bars? Oh, 1,500 of them. Yes, we do. We still have a fair amount of these apparently from Wednesday just past. Well, that's helpful. Let's look and see what it's going to take to restock blacksmithing. I think I made enough Shadowghast ingots as well to balance out the amount of Elysium ore that we had. So hopefully we don't need to do any buying or any craft or any intermediate crafting. We can just go straight into making the legendaries. How many do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We need to make 18 legendaries. Can't find the official video about legendaries anymore. If they took that down, that's bad news. There we go. Maybe they're trying to hide the system. The less spoke about it, the better, maybe. It does concern me. They could, like, it's not an option that's been thrown around very much. But if they can't work out something constructive to do with it, it's not like Blizzard to not. I mean, they've done it in the past. Just completely can a system after one patch. It's happened before. Right, so are we short on any materials anyway? We've got nearly 4,000 Shadowghast ingots, we've got over 1,000 enchanted lithium bars. We've not got a huge amount of luminous flux, but we can buy some if we need some. Got plenty of gold. I'm waiting for the 1 silver per Valor coming in 9.2. Hey, that's a long way away. Right, before I get deep into crafting these, I'm going to take another quick bathroom break. I'll be back with you, boys and girls, in 2 minutes. Occupy yourself with the like button. There's a bunch of you here. You should be smashing that like button. I'll be back in 2. Alrighty, we're back. We're back. The system did exactly what they wanted it to do, as they said in that video. But if that video has been taken down, they probably changed their mind on it and want people to forget it. Well, yeah, that's true. The internet does never forget. There's many people that rip the official Warcraft videos simply for the fact that you can use them in your own videos and you don't get copyright striked. I've done it before. Using official Blizzard marketing footage in your own videos is perfectly acceptable to do. But yes, it does mean if they've removed that off their own official outlets, that's not necessarily good news about the system. I think gold given from world bosses should be a flat 500 gold and not 73. It so quickly became worth not doing the world bosses. Yeah, that's true. The world bosses seem to have very little use. I guess the fact for the world bosses falls into the fact that they hold some of the legendary powers, which is going to keep people doing them on their alts. Right, I might buy some more flux now before we start. Fill my bags with flux. Should they increase the gold cap? The common argument to that would probably be no. Because it really is not. It's not a limit that. I mean, I genuinely would go as far as to saying probably less than 1% of the player base have ever even got close to the gold cap. I mean, there's going to be the odd guild leader that might be gold capped, for example, and a couple of goblins on each realm that will be gold capped. But I mean, it's not really much of a restriction because, you know, I mean, that is also an argument. Just remove the 10 million gold limit because it's a bit annoying, if nothing else. Yeah, why don't the world bosses drop Valor? That would make sense. That would at least get people to do it. It would at least get the casuals to do it, if nothing else. I'm less than 97,000 gold away from my second gold cap for Shadowlands. Oh, that's good. That means you can what I consider max cap a character. You can have 10 mil in your bags and you can have 10 mil in the guild as well. Now, a lot of people go to 30, 40, 50 million, but personally, I probably wouldn't recommend having more than 20 million on any single server. There's some pretty hefty diminishing returns by the time you get that much gold on one realm. That's when you start getting 20 million gold, that's the point where you should really start looking at repeating the process on multiple realms. That then becomes your ability to scale, because you can't really scale much faster than what you're already doing at that point. Doesn't the gold cap kind of root the economy down a bit? Not really. Not really, because I mean the only thing I can possibly think of for justification for the gold cap, I mean, and this is the most minor thing in the world, is that it prevents like ridiculous inflation on Yeah, like Black Market Auction House, for example. But Black Market Auction House, trading card game mounts, that sort of thing. But that's such a tiny, tiny thing. It really makes no difference, I don't think. Okay, we need Shadow Ghast breastplates at rank 4, and we need 2 of them. We need Sabatons at rank 4, and we need 1 of them. Need Greaves at rank 4. We need Waistguard at rank 4, and we need 2 of them. Now on to rank 3s. We need 2 rank 3 breastplates. And rank 3 gauntlets. Rank 3 helm. Rank 3 greaves. 2 rank 3 pauldrons, because these are reasonably good sellers. And 2 arm guards. No, 2 rank 3 arm guards. That was almost a whoopsie. Greaves at rank 2. Pauldrons at rank 2. And finally, arm guards at rank 2. And that is an entire restock on blacksmithing with very little effort. Exactly what we want. Down to just over 500 enchanted lithium bars now. Okay, that's... we could probably do with a few more than that, to be honest, but... my guild bank has 5.4 million in it right now. I bought Keystone Master plus a few extra 15 boosts last week. Yeah, that like 15 boosts will get expensive quite quickly. I don't want to go around leveling 5 alts on every server, so I need to change my gold making methods first. Well, the argument comes that if you've got enough gold, then if you've got 20 million gold, you've got to remember it's, what is it, like even in the EU, I think it's 1 million gold, give or take, to buy a boost. So, buy boosts with tokens and then, you know, 3 million gold to get yourself set up with 3 level 50 characters on a new realm, like instantly. Boosts don't really fix the problem. Yeah, I mean technically if you want to do crafting at the very least, you're going to want to get that character or those characters to 60, because of course the likelihood is that if you're that wealthy in the first place, you're probably not going to be overly keen about, you know, just selling 168 gear. Whilst it's good money, it's not top end scaling. You probably want to be, at least for crafting, you're going to want like level 60s to get into legendaries, I'd imagine. Assuming they keep them in the game. Thinking about getting Vial of the Sands on 3 realms? Oh boy, yeah, no thank you. Not today. Any more sneaky legendaries lying about? I don't think so. I think that was everything. Now my next big problem is actually tailoring. But if I don't restock on tailoring, it's not the end of the world. It takes way too long to restock tailoring because the enchanted lightless silk are a nightmare. You need thousands of the damn things, and at a 1.5 second craft for each one, it gets very painful very quick. Don't even have Vial of the Sands on my second realm after farming it for weeks. It's very, very realm dependent, that mount in the first place. Short of actually farming up a bunch, like, it's very difficult on most realms to buy the materials you need to craft that and to also make much profit on it. If you can make 10k profit on selling a Vial of the Sands, you're usually doing alright on most realms. Compare that. For me at the moment, I can make 10k profit on selling one rank 4 legendary, and I can sell 20 rank 4 legendaries a day. It's just not even, whilst it's good money when there's nothing else happening, it's just not even on my radar right now to do things like that. I think I'm just going to put these Arboreal Shards in the bank right now because I don't think I'm going to bother restocking tailoring. If I, when I go walk the dogs and do dinner and, you know, take a shower later and that sort of stuff, then I might set my dude running to make some enchanted lightless silk, but before that happens, I'm probably not going to bother. Because this is the point you get to, right? Even when you get deep into legendaries, you even get to the point where the cheaper legendaries even stop becoming worth your while. Making 5k profit on a tailoring legendary is not as worth the time to me as making 10k on a leatherworking legendary. Now I am still crafting and selling as much of it as I can, but oh, see, this is a great example, see? Bone Shatter Helm, rank 4, 70k. Crafting cost, less than 40. Probably 35 based on the price I pay for materials. Probably 100% profit on that. Legendaries are only a thing for this expansion, if that. Yeah, sure, Legos aren't interesting long term, but if you can get up and running quickly on another server and make few mil on another realm, that basically puts you in a good position that whatever happens going forward, you're kind of ready. And that's the point of splitting your gold across multiple servers. Because some markets will favour high pop realms, some markets will favour low pop realms, some will, you know, work in the middle on both. If you've got, I genuinely believe that having 1 million gold on 10 different servers is way more beneficial than having 10 million gold on one server. You might still only have 10 million gold in total, but I would rather have I'd rather have 1 million gold on 10 servers than 10 million on one every day of the week. Is anybody even online? No, there's nobody online. If I'd actually remembered to do some cancel scans occasionally, I'd have the market to myself right now. Well, almost to myself. Can probably make 10 million on one before I get set up on 3 though. There is that. that once you've got 3 or 4 million on one realm, you can get to 10 pretty quickly. Getting that first million gold is always the difficult part. Always the difficult part. And that's why I would, long term, I want to, you know, figure out some nearly foolproof way of doing that and doing it at speed. That's not just buying tokens. Because with 1 million gold in your back pocket, you can do a lot of things. Even though tomorrow's Saturday, we might stream tomorrow, you know. I'm feeling a Saturday stream. I've taken a couple of days off streaming this week for various reasons, so maybe I'm feeling a Saturday stream this week. I do want to get some videos sorted though. If I'm honest, I've had very little, like, very little. I mean, I've had the desire to make the YouTube videos, but I've had very little to make YouTube videos on recently. There's so little going on in World of Warcraft. I would feel like I'm just repeating content. Because if I solely go by making videos on what it is I'm doing in game, I'm just making legendaries again. I've squeezed that cash cow pretty dry when it comes to YouTube content. What would you guys want to see? I should probably ask my audience, I suppose, what they would like to see. I'm resisting the temptation to just, you know, make videos for the sake of making videos though. Problem is too that we don't know what's going to happen in the next patches for crafting. Yeah, everything's up in the air. This is a big issue that, like, it's difficult to even like I've even done the speculation and there's no new information to speculate on even, so more Legos. Nobody cares about Legos anymore. Legos is a golden carrot at the end of a stick. Which is, the problem is the stick is 50 million gold long. That's the problem. It's a really juicy carrot, but I dare not stock more than what I can use. Well, that was why I took basically an entire month off selling legendaries, because when Heavy Callous Hide was going from like the 1,000 gold down to the 500 gold it is now, every single day that went past, the material price was just dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. And yes, then restocking more than what you could conceivably sell in a 24-hour time period was super risky. But now the materials have sort of, you know, they've kind of bottomed out, and they've even taken a small uptick recently because the demand for legendaries is being a bit hotter. Now I do foresee very soon the price to then go back down to what it was a week or two ago, because there's only a week to 10 days worth of interest in legendaries again at this point, before people just don't care and people like unsub before 9.1. use Legos as a base to go into how to optimize profit margins. Like how to get materials for the cheapest price, how to control the market, how to get the most for your item, etc, etc. I mean, I guess I could sort of do a legendary crafting masterclass kind of video. You know. But the problem is I feel that the information is somewhat almost too generic because it totally depends on what's going on your server. Consider doing Legos on a brand new server with limited capital, sub 1 mil. Well, I am getting set up on Tor and Mill. Rank 3 Umberhide Arm Guards, 18k. They seem very cheap. They are very cheap for rank 3. Why are they so cheap? Let me just quickly check in on Umberhide Arm Guards. That one. 225s. What's going on here then? No, there's just lots of them. I'm not even posting. Even 235 Umberhide Arm Guards are below what I'm willing to list them for. They cost 24 to make for me currently. They're selling for 27, which is still under what I'm willing to list them for because it's a rank 4. I'm not going to sell it unless I can make at least some profit on it. My minimum price is 30. That's fine. I'm not worried about them. Yeah, those 225s were pretty cheap though. There's still a couple of K in those. Yeah, to get back to what I was talking about, I am getting set up on Tor and Mill. The 0 to hero thing, I know I put it kind of on, it's on a extended hiatus right now because it's hella time consuming to get that first, to get yourself up and running. Where are we? Tor and Mill. We've got a level 51 druid that's up and running with skinning. I mean, I just need to put some hours in to get some starting capital, really. I'm kind of at the point where I theoretically could start doing some flipping, or I could start doing some like past expansion leatherworking crafting or something. I just want to jump onto the bank character on this server and see what's going on there. I mean, I could level that dude to 60 and just try and do Legos over here as well. But the problem is I don't have a lot, 30,000 gold on this character right now. Oh, it's laggy. Can it finish loading, please? Wanna buy some frame? Can I buy some FPS, please, game? Are you good, game? There we go. It's Zygor that was slowing it down. Oh, we got a few things sold. You can see I've not even logged on to this character in a few days. Have I literally just crashed my game? I think I have. No, we're good. Yeah, it's been a few days since I've even logged on this character. Still trying to flip this Oxane ore I bought a while ago. We've sold some of it though. I myself am on 5 servers doing Legos and it takes me about 1 month to get to a comfortable level of gold where I'm not running on fumes. Yeah. Skinning better than herb mining? For my sanity, yes. For gold, probably not, but for my sanity, yes. The reason it's skinning is because it also goes into past expansions and does some skinning there, which works kind of quite well as well. Glad you didn't go to my server. There were enough true goblins on my horde server anyway. Luckily, most of them are not idiots. But we do have one which nobody can understand. Yeah, you'll find a few people like that. If you do pets, consider doing a video on how to optimize server restocking, since for most people that's the biggest time sink on pet battles. I've not got into pets. So I really don't have much expertise on that. It is something that I sort of it's on my bucket list, put it that way, for Shadowlands, is to spread myself across a few different realms, and additionally to, you know, utilize pets as a way of floating those new servers, should we say. But the frustration for me about using pets as a way to transfer gold is it tends to only work in one direction. You can very quickly get a reasonable amount of gold to a high pop server, but it's going to cost you a lot to do it because you're going to have to buy that pet for more on a lower pop server, presumably. So you're taking a big hit on the gold value there. If you have to buy a 200k pet on your home realm to then sell it for 150k because you have to sell it cheap to sell it quickly, kind of thing. Because if you list at market price, it's just not going to sell. You might as well at that point buy a token, turn it to balance. Buy 2 tokens, turn it to balance, then buy another token with that balance, and, you know, sell that token on that. So it just doesn't seem to. It's a bit of an odd one. This is why I want to come up with a method to be able to go bounce between servers that doesn't rely on pets, because it's, you know, it's a bit odd. Let's have a quick look here. Let's see what's happening. Oh, Oxane ore up to 12 gold. See, now we sell. Now we sell. I bought this stuff for like 4 gold a piece. My medium leather was farmed. Why is Zygor not doing anything? There we go. A single piece of callous hide. List that up. Jumunga scales, yeah, whatever. Burnished tunic. These stuff I'm going to have to throw in a... groups. Looted transmog. Base item. Blood ring. Raiders gauntlets. Reflective speary thing. Revenant helm. Ring of the moon. Scouting trousers. Valorious chest guard. Volcanic ring. Okay, all of those. Throw them in there. Phoenix pants. I've got a subgroup for patterns, don't I? Old patterns. There we go. You go in there. Greater healing potion. Yeah, let's just delete those, shall we? There we go. Get those on the auction house. Sell the rest of our materials quickly, or at least list the rest of our materials. At this point, I should just give these away to somebody. Why did the Phoenix pants not list? All right, whatever. A mana potion doesn't need to be listed on the auction house. There we go. 36k on this dude so far. It's frustrating because at the beginning of Shadowlands, 36,000 gold could have been, you know, you could make that in an hour back in the day. Not so much anymore though. But yes, we are slowly but surely building a foothold on Tauren Mill. We'll get there eventually. It's ideal to buy from high pop and then sell on low pop for pets. If you're on a low pop, it's just an uphill battle. This is, the natural downside of trying to sell pets on low population server is whilst their listing price might be more, there's just considerably less people that are going to actually want to buy that pet if it's more expensive, you know. What is Zygor providing for you? I mean, in details of, is it working good? I literally use Zygor every single day for so many different things. People think of it as just a leveling guide, which at its core is what it does. But there is literally thousands of little guides within Zygor for all sorts of stuff. The gold making side of it's pretty trash, I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't get it for the gold making side of things. It's not any better than Trade Skill Master. It's probably not even better than things like Worth It. It doesn't have anything like Loot Appraiser in it, the gold making side of Zygor is trash. But for getting places, for finding vendors in zones that you don't know where everything is or who everything is, for running, quickly navigating you from one side of Azeroth to another, for collecting those pets, for collecting those mounts. There's hundreds of things I use Zygor for every day. Right, I think I'm going to leave this character be, as I don't actually plan to. I just wanted to relist the auctions. That was the main thing I wanted to do. Is that how you make your gold? How we doing, Jack? Welcome. We'll continue on Tauren Mill when we've got a little bit more time. I actually need to relist some auctions on this character as well. I wanted to do some leatherworking crafting today, and not just legendaries, but restocking legendaries on top of me randomly talking about random stuff all day has taken a lot longer. If you wish to get on board with Zygor, firstly they have a free trial, which lets you use Zygor up to, I think, level 20 or something, so you can test out how the leveling guide works and that sort of stuff, which is not super useful in today's game, but it's there at least. Or if you do jump on board with the subscription for Zygor, test it for a month. If you don't like it, it's a subscription thing, just can it on the head. Weekend, how you doing? Every day's a weekend for me, my man. I'm doing fine. Done a whole bunch of legendary crafting. We've spent considerably more gold than we've made. It's a good day. But we're starting to see the benefit come back in already. 20k for rank 2 legs? That'll do. I'll take it. By the time the auction house has had its share, that's not a huge amount of profit, but at least the fact that it's profitable in the first place. Oh my god, thanks Jack. I thought it was Thursday for some reason. You probably thought it was Thursday because I didn't stream yesterday. So you're a day behind. How's Zygor still allowed by Blizzard? I thought it violates their add-on terms of service. Well, it's still allowed because it doesn't actually violate their terms of service. It skirts round it, but it doesn't actually violate it. In very much a similar way to how there's a premium version of TSM. No, it does. Okay. I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of the TOS. It's not strictly against it. You can't get the add-on for free? Well, you can, that's the thing. You can get the Zygor add-on entirely for free it limits you to there's a limit to how much of it you get for free. You can get the add-on for the way that they skirt around it, right? Is that the add-on is made available to you for free. They don't charge you for the add-on. What they charge you for is the data within the add-on. It's a bit of a weird one, just like how TSM Premium provides you with great deals lists and stuff, and has a. I've worried for a while that the TSM desktop application, if Blizzard would track that and think it to be an issue, I don't know. I don't know the full ins and outs of it, but I think the loophole that they jump through is that you can have the add-on for free, but the add-on's not really going to do a lot unless you have the data for the add-on. And it's the data that you subscribe. It's the information that goes into the add-on that you pay. It's like I said, it's a loophole, but it's been around forever and a day. I'm sure it's fine. Like the Mythic add-on debacle a few months ago. What was it? It was Mythic Dungeon Tools, wasn't it? They were gonna something along the lines of you had to. I can't remember exactly how that was gonna work, but TSM desktop app is not part of the game. Oh, I don't know. I don't look into it all in that great a level of detail. I mean, Zygor has literally been around since. I think the add-on was. I think they turned it into an add-on in Burning Crusade. I think if it was. I think if Blizzard had any issues with it, they'd have done something about it by now. They're pretty quick on banning add-ons that they don't like. Like that, what was it back? I think it was back in Wrath of the Lich King, was it? There was that add-on where it could actually kind of like map things out in the real game world for you. It was like a super. I can't remember what it was called. It was mainly used by raiders. It like super map. It was like a super version of Deadly Boss mods, where instead of like just flashing up an alert saying "Don't stand in the fire," it could like self-impose an image in the real world to tell you to go stand there. I can't remember what it was called, but they took offence to that and and squished it pretty quick. I can't remember what it was called. It did some funky stuff though. It was because of course you can put markers, you can put the coloured markers down, but it was like an automated coloured marker system, but it was unique to the person that was using the add-on. It wasn't like a marker where everybody can see it and is actually a thing in the game. It was self-imposing itself invisibly. It was weird. There's probably YouTube videos of it still, but I can't remember what the add-on was actually called. I'm going to need to take all of this desolate leather out of my bags. Oh, there's conveniently... Maze Bank. There's conveniently a dinosaur kicking about. I'm still going to go Stormwind anyway. I'm not going to rely on the fact that he's going to stay there. Meanwhile, paying the CEO a $200 million for a period of 3 months whilst laying off 100... Okay, you read that as well, yeah. Well, we all know that Bobby Kotick is a... he's a character. But making a few bucks off an add-on's illegal. Yeah, that guy's a piece of work. Right, let's empty Empty bags. Literally one of my favourite buttons to press in the game recently. The empty bags button. Empty bags. Fill bags. We need a 10 million gold mount with a mail or a bank to complete the stay away from cities combo. Yeah. It's because the add-on money goes into the wrong pocket. Or probably, yeah. It's not paying for the fuel in Bobby Kotick's 4th yacht. I mean, I've not read into the... I mean, I saw the headline that Bobby Kotick has paid himself 200 million or something ridiculous. And it's all in stock shares and bonds and this sort of stuff. It's not necessarily his bank account now has 200 million gold, $200 million more in it than it did yesterday. But the point still stands is that it's crooked as all hell. The fact that the contract that he has signed to be the CEO of the company. So of course he basically gets to dictate what the contract is in the first place. Basically gives him preferential payouts regardless of any work he actually does. If the stock value goes up, then he gets a fat bonus regardless of what the business is actually doing. It's all a bit crooked. That's the gaming industry. The gaming industry is full of crooked CEOs. Look at the moron that runs EA. Jesus. Guy's an absolute piece of work. Now, my little 25 gold undercut experiment, should we say, is very, very difficult to keep track of. But it is slowly but surely chipping away at the prices of a few things. So we should start getting... Now, I'm also very aware I'm listing some really weird and wacky things. I made way too many stupid low-level gems, which I never expect to sell. But interestingly, I have sold a few. The leatherworking gear, though, most of the stuff I've crafted is just default trainer patterns, which is why they tend not to sell very well, because there's strong competition on them. Gaming industry is in a sad state, absolutely booming, but huge problems inside the companies. Yeah. Well, I mean, the gaming industry is one of the only industries on the planet that actually saw financial growth through the COVID thing, because of course everybody was stuck indoors with nothing more to do than play video games all day in a lot of cases. But the problem is that the gaming industry has been very, very crooked for a large amount of time now. And there's seemingly no real way to fix it, because for as long as these companies still keep making money, and we keep giving it to them, nothing will really change. God, this is a lot of auctions. And this is only half of them. Not even half of them. I think I might, before too long, I might can off a whole bunch of these low-level gems. I'm not entirely sure why I chose to craft them anyway. But in a weird weird things do happen, so which is why I have still crafted, and I'm still being persistent with listing them. Unionization does have an effect, but yes, you are right, it's a very slow effect. Because the issue is that, well, anything legal will just get squished by a big bag of money by these companies. Problems disappear very quickly when there's cash involved, and lots of cash. And these big corporations, they have a lot of cash. They can make problems go away. It's a cynical point of view, but it's a realistic one. Now, I'm not too keen about chatting about real world economics, because for the most part, this stream is meant to be about making gold in the game and how to make it fun. Real world economics tends to borderline on frustrating at the best of time for most people, so hence why I tend not to talk about politics at all on stream. People watch live streams and play video games to get away from that crap. Yeah, not that type of cash, Jack. Not that type of cash. Did you see the guy who wrecked half of New York? Had all the charges dropped due to lack of evidence? Yeah, the evidence just happened to disappear. Yeah. Yeah, that sort of stuff is a thing. Roger Brown. Still doing the same thing, gold making wise. If it's been a while, then probably. You probably skipped the period in time where I stopped selling legendaries, and then and then now continuing to watch me sell legendaries. Oh well, actually, we're not listing legendaries, are we, right now? No, this is just a whole bunch of low-level crafted stuff that we're throwing up on the AH. Outrageous prices on half of it. No intention of selling at anywhere near these prices. Why somebody thinks that they can charge 34,000 gold for dread scale legs when they craft worst case scenario, these things cost 8k to make, and that's assuming your pristine hide is expensive. Pristine hide you can get for about 250 gold a piece if you buy savage leather cheap enough, which you always can. So yeah, even 7,400 gold crafting cost is about 3 times what I'd expect the crafting cost to be. Yeah, we need to do something to fix these prices, otherwise they're never going to sell. You're exactly right. Yeah, I took the best part of 6 weeks off actually selling legendaries. But we're back at it again now. Been buying some expedition transmog for tomorrow. Ah, of course, it's the what do you call it? The trial of style, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, the trial of style will at the very least give people an incentive to go out and buy some transmog. That's true. I don't know how you people store 1.6k items. Like, there's how's that even a thing? Surely you don't have bank space for that. And leaving it in the mailbox is just hella risky, right? Because you take 30 days off playing the game, and then you lose it all. Any profession changes coming in change the dump? We don't know yet. We quite literally don't know. Blizzard said nothing. we were actually speculating that they might completely get rid of the legendary system. There's a sneaky feeling that they might just can the legendary system completely, which would in turn have huge implications on the crafting system and professions in general. Just be sure to post once a month. Well, that's easier said than done. Because if you're anything like me, when you stop playing the game, it's a very knee-jerk thing. It happens very quickly, and you tend not to look back. Like, if a new game comes out, and I dive on that new game, if that new game keeps me occupied for more than 30 days, I'm going to lose me some auctions. That's almost for sure. They've been insane. Have they done it? Well, I mean, it's not unlike Blizzard to like completely squish a system that they add to the game after, you know, just a single patch. Maybe not necessarily delete it from the game completely, but squish it to the point where it's just not a thing. I mean, Battle for Azeroth was literally an entire expansion of that. Here's a new system, so you forget about how bad the last system was. Now, I hope we don't repeat the same thing again, but... I mean, we see it at the end of every expansion. Regardless of what systems they've made during the expansion, they just, you know, poof, disappear when we go into a new expansion. It would not surprise me to see them do something like that mid-expansion, given the right circumstances or reason to. I think you'll be able to upgrade Legos, just not with the professions anymore, like you did in Legion. I mean, we speculated 20 different things that could be that could happen. All which have some element of logic to them, all could be feasible. We just don't know, is the honest answer. We just don't know. Mainly because they were just hella sheepish with talking about legendaries at any point. Best thing to prepare would just be to have gold stocked up. Yeah, pretty much. Like I can't force it, at least until we get some information. I can't really see if you can go into any new patch or any new expansion with a few million gold, you can pretty much adapt to whatever happens pretty quickly. Yeah. You don't even need it to be a new game, you only have to remember that Factorio exists. Well, there we go. There's a really solid example of how a month can just disappear. Like, oh, I think I might play Factorio today. 500 hours later. Yeah, that's definitely a thing. That's definitely a thing. I have to get my Factorio buzz at least once every 6 months. Sold a Demon Steel set for 200k, made them for like 10k. Trust me, everything sells, it just takes time. It does, but sometimes I'm not willing to give it the time it potentially takes. Factorio is a great game. I mean, outside of World of Warcraft, I've probably put more time into Factorio than any other game on the planet. Over the years, I think I've well, I mean, even on Steam tells me I've put way over 2,000 hours into Factorio. I had the game before it even went to Steam, and I'd probably put 1,500 hours into it before it even went to Steam. And I bought the game again so that I had it on Steam. It was like you originally just had to buy it straight from the developer. What am I doing then at the moment? Well, I mean, at this very second in time, I'm literally just restocking some past expansion crafts. But for the most part, we're still pretty deep on crafting and selling legendaries. I'll squeeze the cash cow until it's dry. I still think you'd really enjoy a good tech-orientated Minecraft mod pack. I probably would, you know. I probably would. There's a reasonably large announcement that I'll be making very soon, which will maybe encompass something like that. You'll find out more soon. Stay tuned. Be glad if they change the Legos, then I can finally play the game and not cancel scan all day and feel like you're not missing out on a gold mine. I've somewhat forced myself into doing other things. For example, yesterday, I had a few hours to play yesterday. Not a huge amount of time because I had stuff to do, but I was running some Burning Crusade raids to gather up some last leatherworking patterns that I was missing. And I was running dungeons, sorry, what was it, Magister's Terrace or something. I would run the instance, then I'd do a cancel scan. Then I'd run an instance, and then I'd do a cancel scan. So it meant that I wasn't really at the auction house all the time, but I was still making a solid 200k gold an hour, just cancel scanning like 3 or 4 times an hour in between doing something else. Now you could easily do the same thing, like if you were running a dungeon. It takes you 20 minutes to run a dungeon, then do a cancel scan, then go run another dungeon, or do a world quest, do a cancel scan, do another world quest, or complete a calling, then do a cancel scan. If you literally just sit and cancel scan all day, yeah, your brain will melt. But if you can get away with like doing just a few cancel scans, you'll still make a good amount of gold, but you won't go crazy doing it. I think that's the emphasis. A rank 4 Umberhide vest, 98,000 gold. I'm telling you, some mad things happening right now. Jack is everywhere. He's literally everywhere. Not sure why people think the next patch will bring something new to professions. Really don't see nothing big until mid-patch like Nazjatar was. There's well, I think it's maybe because, I mean, I know my channel is only small and my audience is relatively small, but I've seen the effect of, if I don't want this to come across big-headed, but there's quite a lot of people that will repeat something that I've said at this point now. That enough people know who I am and have watched my videos or watched my streams. If I say something or I have an opinion on something, it influences people, right? With that in mind, one thing I've been pretty vocal about is the fact that the professions feel really bare-bone. Like, they feel as if they just copied the default template for professions, pasted it into Shadowlands, and then didn't do anything else with it. They just left it as a template. So we have the new armor sets. We have the leveling armor set, and we have the level cap armor set. We have a tailor has a new bag, only just mined. They added them really late in the beta. Tailors have the new bags that they always have. The engineers, they have their wormhole generator that they always have. It felt like there was kind of the default template, buff, here you go. but then they just left it. They had to focus development time on other stuff. So we didn't get any interesting quest lines to unlock patterns. There was basically no rep grinds because they wanted to remove reputations from being a thing for some reason. Don't know why. There was no ranks that could then be obtained. There was no rank 1, rank 2, rank 3. There was nothing like that. It was totally bare bone. And I think because of that, people are really hoping that they add some flavour to the professions in 9.1. Because at least at the beginning of BFA, we had basic ranks, and then in Legion, you go back and we had the basic ranks, and we had like the questing set up. True, it wasn't until the mid-tier patch, like a 0.2 patch, where we got Najatar, or where we got, what was it called, the Broken Shore. But I guess it's just wishful thinking more than anything else. I wish they'd kept the Legion crafting system. It was great, besides potion rank 3 being gated for half the expansion. Well, true. I do think I didn't see it at the time, because, you know, hindsight is 2020, but I do think Legion for its crafting system was about the pinnacle of what they've done for crafting. They were kind of getting there slowly but surely. Warlords of Draenor was a bit of a write-off because it all got put into garrisons and then they squished everything and it was just odd. You go back further than that, you had Mists of Pandaria, where everything was time-gated. Everything in Mists of Pandaria was time-gated. You could learn one new pattern, but you had to press a button every day, and that was the only way you would level up half of your professions in Mists of Pandaria, which was just gross. So they were testing things, and I think Legion was about the point where they got it right. And unfortunately, after Legion, we had BFA, where it, you know, the first thread appeared on the woolen jumper, and it started to unravel. And then Shadowlands comes along, and hopefully Shadowlands is going to be the good expansion. But we have COVID, and we have delays, and we have restricted development time. And the first thing that obviously got cut was professions, because they spent way too much time pissing about with conduits and soulbinds. So yeah, I think it's, to sum it up, I think it's just wishful thinking. That people are hoping there'll be more flavour added to professions, because they feel a bit empty, a bit bare bone right now. Loved the cooking in Legion. Yeah, because you had Nomi, didn't you? And you could give ingredients to that chef dude, and then he'd give you something that once he'd used those ingredients, and maybe if you were lucky, it was a bit loot boxy, little bit loot boxy, mind, but at least then you'd learn better ranks of stuff through that way. That was quite cool. Cooking in Legion was good. Was it Nomi? I can't remember. Was Nomi the Mists of Pandaria? I can't remember. And you'd get your bacon from the world quests. That was kind of cool. That was the only way you get your bacon. So there's an element of time gating and an element of scarcity, because you had to do your world quests to get your bacon, or you had to buy your bacon off the auction house. There was a limited supply with it. See, loads of things. Really good. Compare that to what we have now. What we have now is a shell of what we had in past expansions. Right, let's get these listed. Gathering in Legion was great too. Herb procs, seed farms. Yeah, even gathering got love in Legion. The seed farms were a really, really cool way to give some group content to gathering. Hello. bacon was great for gold making. Hey, everything is better with bacon. Everything is better with bacon. You needed other crafted food to make the feasts. Well, that was planned for Shadowlands, and for some reason they took it out. I've got my first ever overview of cooking on the beta had a nice amount of complexity to it, that you had to create basic food to make better food and to make the feasts. And for some reason, towards the end of beta, they stripped cooking of anything interesting, and we now just got this dumb, boring, oh, you need ribs and you need ribs and you just need 2 pieces of meat and 2 fish, and there you go, have a feast. A feast is a combination of lots of different meals, not lots of ingredients. Ingredients go into making meals. Meals should go into making a feast. So I don't know why they had the system and then went back on it, which is double odd. Fellhide, Brimstone, Fellwart with the world quests were fun too. The Obliterum Shuffle. Yeah, the Obliterum Shuffle was a nice... There was issues with it, mind. But the more conversions, the more barriers to entry, the more questing, the more ranks, the more flavour everything had. Legion was absolutely the pinnacle for crafting, in my opinion. Now, a lot of people at the time looked at it as just a grind, which there's an element of that, true, but it did mean that the people that put time and effort into crafting back in Legion got some, favourable reward for doing it. They killed fishing by putting baits on the vendor too. That I don't understand. Like, why put it on a vendor? It should be that you're doing fishing and you get there's a rare chance for you to fish up something that will then give you like a fishing boost for 20 minutes. If you can just go to a vendor and buy a fishing boost, it's not a boost anymore. It becomes the default. Bad. Didn't like the proc chances in Legion and BFA. Well, the proc chances, you just had to work out what they were. Once you worked out what they were, you just integrated it into your profit margins. If you were selling at any decent quantity, you just built in the proc chances. Some of the proc chances on the gear though, that was a bit annoying. The issue is though with all of the different ways and means there was of doing stuff, it naturally meant that alts were a bit difficult because there was plenty of stuff for a single character to do. But then I suppose it meant that players tried to specialize, and it feels like Blizzard wanted with a legendary system. It feels like Blizzard wanted people to specialise. Oh, cams froze. Please hold. Now OBS is froze. This is not good. Please tell me if we're effing. Please hold longer. I might have to reset OBS. And the likelihood is if I'm saying that, you probably can't hear that. Press 1 in chat if you can still hear me. OBS is dead. Okay. Oh, you can still hear me. All you fucking idiots pressing 2. Jesus Christ. Here's me trying to tech support my own stream. Hang on. Oh, Jesus. Look what happens now. Why do I ask you guys anything? Well, OBS is busted. Right, well, technically I was about to finish the stream anyway, so I guess considering you can at least still hear me, and I don't know if you can still see my mouse, but whatever. My OBS is completely ballsed up and locked up, so I'm going to have to reset it. But I think I was going to call the stream here anyway, boys and girls. So thanks for coming today. We will likely, maybe possibly, not guaranteeing, stream again tomorrow. But if not, I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Happy goal making. Don't work too hard. And peace. Okay, I can't mute and I can't turn to my end screen, so everything's bollocks. See you later in a bit. Bye.